Well, hello, everybody. We are back in the Daverhood, ladies and gentlemen. Just getting the camera angled just so. For the new Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, live on the site. Oh, and not just me, but my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and this is not her. This is Mrs. Bok. Oh, she's friendly today. Why is Mrs. B pecking me? She's stuck on me, I guess. There you go. Let's get this show started. It's the new episode of Dave's Gone By. So everybody tune in, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your, what we call, not Daverhoodlums, what were they? They were my crop, right? Because of the potatoes?
I know.
My spudlets, my spuds.
Your seedies, I think they were the purge. I think it was the purge.
Now that would make sense. Here on Dave's Gone By, let's begin.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
There goes the Daverhood.
And there was much rejoicing.
Didn't your meds kick in yet?
We got David Lefkowitz here. He's a Long Island arts guy. He's got his own radio show.
I want you all to really enjoy a wonderful program done by a fine artist.
A glorious thing of unparalleled beauty.
Dave's Gone By. Dave is one of my very favorite broadcasters, so keep on listening to Mr. Dave.
Tropical hot dog night. Like two flamingos in a fruit fight.
There goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to a brand new live edition of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio program of the stream here on this Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. Coming to you live from Greeley, Colorado and the University of Northern Colorado. Woo-hoo. From my lovely office here. Got a lot of ceiling in that shot. Not sure why. There we go. I'm here. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and I've been hosting this show since October of 2002, and so many of those episodes have been co-hosted by my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who, she's all dressed up. She looks really great. She does not want to be on camera. I have no, she's in a beautiful, like a black, would you call that, it's a dress?
It's navy.
That's navy?
This is navy, yeah.
Oh, in the navy. So it's a very dark-ish indigo dress.
Do like Dave, like Big Dave from the QVC.
Oh, we have just 150 of these left. Oh my word, that's beautiful.
Oh, Mary.
Oh, I could eat, oh, Mary. Oh, I could wear that.
If it had some dumplings.
Happy dance. Happy dance. Ladies and gentlemen.
You should make your version of the happy dance for Dave.
Yeah, what would I do, though? I was just like...
spin the potatoes, maybe.
I'd be Small Dave. He could be Big Dave, because he's Big Dave Venable. I'm Small Dave.
You could be normal-sized Dave.
I wish I were normal-sized Dave.
Normal-sized.
In more ways than one. Hey, where are all the people who usually log on? Let me see if they're doing it. Because it's not showing me any people logging or joining.
Sometimes
I'm sure you're out there.
Sometimes it takes time. There's a little bump in...
Yeah, but we're live. We're here. It is Saturday, September 22nd, 2018 here, and we're calling this episode Fall In.
Oh, I like
Guess
that.
what? Today is the first day of autumn. I used to like autumn more.
I love it, yeah. You're wearing corduroys, you must like it.
Yeah, I got look at my pants, folks. Ooh-hoo. Huh? Okay, you can't.
Hold on, look.
Yeah. Huh? How's this for autumnal colored pants? Not to mention the shirt full of sort of gray, black dying leaves. So it's a rather appropriate symbol of the brand new season that starts today.
Palm. They're palm leaves. I don't think they're dying. I think that's like fronds. Is it fronds?
Oh. I don't know if they're German. Is your name Franz?
I just got myself in the shot. I don't
know. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, there we go. Now we're good. Anyway, so yeah, to celebrate the arrival of autumn, which used to be, I think I get older now, I think I'm preferring spring, but
I'm getting older too, seasons grow colder.
People get older.
I'm getting older. I need to go to Miami like an old
Jew. That's right. Anyway, I gotta say like a really old person. I'm
No, that's you, honey. That's you.
Something.
Don't be
pickle.
ageist. Hey, I'll kick you hard.
You're the one who made fun of old Jews going to Miami.
I do think it's like an exodus, though.
It is, because there want to be... I can't believe this. It was 3 days ago I met with my writers group. We meet at a local library here in Greeley, Colorado, just to talk about each other's writing, to help each other, and so forth. And
sometimes you bring food.
Yeah, well, I brought them vegetables this time because a friend of yours.
Oh, did they take them?
Yeah.
Good.
A couple of people took squash.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of the peppers we had. Did we get string beans? Did we give them? No, just peppers and.
Some hot peppers and also a couple of big
Ask people
squash.
what they did with it so we can learn how to cook.
I don't. These are some eccentric people. I don't want to know what they did with a long bulbous squash.
Karen Finley.
So,
NEA5.
When I drive there. This is the time of year that it is, because it was very, very late summer, obviously. So driving up 20th Street here, directly into the setting sun. If I tell you...
It's like being in an interrogation room, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because at least in the interrogation, you can kind of look down, you can sort of look away, right? Close your eyes. You can't do that when you're driving.
You can while you're driving, but you get a big ouchie.
Yeah, but you also get a big ouchie, even with sunglasses on and the visor.
Oh,
you got to show me how... You know how to do this. In the car, you can take the visor...
Yeah, you move it, yeah, I'll
unclip it,
yeah,
and hang it sideways.
I'll show you, yeah.
That would have helped.
Yeah.
Anything would have helped. But, the sun is blazing down. It's hot. I drive in. 2.5 hours later, I come out of there, out of the library. It's kind of chilly in the library.
Yeah.
I'm wearing, summer wear. I'm wearing short sleeves and shorts.
Yeah. Your new TJ Maxx shorts.
Yeah. Oh, they were so lovely.
You're styling it, yeah.
And I go to the car, which is parked, because it was pretty crowded.
Far as the big parking lot, yeah.
And I swear to you, halfway to the car, my teeth are chattering, I'm shivering.
Oh my God.
I literally feel like I'm getting hypothermia. Because it had gone from about 80 degrees.
Oh my God, to like 50?
Yeah, to the 40s. And I was like, oh my God.
You're not like in the Donner Party. You're just like going in a library parking lot.
Well, I jumped in the car.
You could have ran in the library if it paid 50 cents and got a Wolfgang Puck hot cocoa. They have a coffee machine with
Well, they were closing. I had to leave the library.
You
They were
could have
closing.
gone in there and got a cocoa to get you to the car.
No, I ran into the car, closed the door, and turned on the car and put on the heat.
Oh my God.
It was still summertime.
The car must have been like, what? What's this heat coming out?
So, but it's a weird thing. It's chilly right now. I was thinking of wearing shorts today, and I'm like, no, it's 49 degrees out there. But anyway, it's warm and toasty and lovely right here in my office in Greeley, Colorado.
I think it's just the warmth of the potatoes.
Yes, it is. All toasty. That's because we have a peel. We make jokes like that, Mommy.
Some on your face.
Where are my people? Where is everybody? Log in, tune in, tell me that you're here. We are live. I know we're broadcasting.
Are you sure that the music didn't shut it?
No, it would tell me that.
Oh, it would say different. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're watching. If you are, feel free to kind of drop me a message, either at my email, davesgoneby@aol.com, or right here posting on the website.
What does the little lock mean?
Where's that?
What's that lock mean?
I'm not sure. Oh, maybe that would help.
Yeah, that's why you did. Yes.
For some strange reason, they have me on private.
Yes.
And that's because I showed my privates earlier.
No, but I'm glad. Do you want?
Yeah, thank you for spotting
that.
No,
I never saw. I know because when you get journals from a journal online, when they're free, it shows a lock that's open, like a gym lock that's open. And when I saw that, I never saw. Do you want to restart with the?
No, we don't have to restart.
Do you mean people can see it now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Something was locking us out.
Yeah.
What happened was, earlier this morning, I posted the notification about this show. And I had a picture I was posting with it, and I wanted to post it just for me to see before I make it public.
So it left
and now it probably assumes everything I want is non-public.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if for the past 8 minutes you haven't been able to see us.
Go back and do it on fast language.
Okay.
Okay, do everything.
Well, welcome everybody. There goes Daverhood. Tropical hot dog night. Dancing potato. La la la. Oh, look, it's autumn. I'm wearing autumn clothes. I run around, show my pants. Look at these pants. Look at the color of them. Ooh. What else did we talked about? Fall. Oh, fall. I used to like fall the best, but now I kind of like spring the best. But you really love fall. Fall's really good. Okay.
Now.
What else did we do? What else were we talking about?
That's it.
No, that took 8 minutes.
Yes.
That's why this show is what it is.
You did a good summary, good cliff notes.
Thank you. And still nobody's logging on.
Well, because they probably think you're not doing it.
Oh, no. Well, we're here. We're live in Raven and Davin, on the 667th episode of Dave's Gone By. We're calling it Fall In because today is the first day of autumn.
If you could show me how to log in on my phone, I could invite
you.
people.
We can. Yeah. Well, we're doing on. I've got that computer going up if you want.
Okay.
But, it's a different account.
I don't know. You have to teach me. I only know how to do from my office.
But let me tell you all what's happening here on Dave's Gone By on this episode of the show. So it's going to be a classic old-fashioned show.
Do you think the announcement is locked?
Well, this shouldn't be locked anymore. This should be open to everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I made the announcement public beforehand, so that should be open. That's why I was surprised to see this reopen. So, people tune in. Hopefully, they'll know to tune in that we're live.
Invite some friends to post.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's invite some people.
Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood. Oh, look, you're inviting.
Hold on.
Your old love. Trying to get it a freaky.
Emily, again. Okay.
Oh, twice you're inviting her. Oh,
cousin Mark. Hold on.
Yeah.
That fella.
Who's that?
Okay. Just inviting everybody. We have 12 accounts.
There you go.
Yes, sure.
I think you really want to invite.
Okay. Who else is there? Don't know who that is. Okay. Yeah. I wish I could work all 4,000 people, but whatever.
I could try it on my phone.
But that's not a real invitation again. That's just inviting them to kind of co-camera.
Do you know what the password is? Can you tell me for the account?
For mine or for yours? Or for getting on that computer, you mean?
No.
I can always just stop this and start a new video. I guess I could do that.
I don't know. What do you think? Keep it as one, no, because it's hard for you.
If people want to tune in, they'll tune in.
Or do you think it'd be better to do it again?
Let's keep this one separate. And I can maybe join them together if I need to.
Okay.
And we were all saying everything was going so well. Welcome back. Okay. We are now ready, even though it's a quarter after, to truly start with Dave's Gone By Facebook program of the stream. And it is our 667th episode of the show. We're calling it Fall In because it's the first day of autumn.
You're calling it Fall In?
I love that funky stuff. Paul Lynde. Remember him from Hollywood Squares? Ow, kids, what's the matter with you? Here come the people.
See?
So look at this. We got Sherry and Robert and
Gordon.
Oh, there we go.
I told
you.
And
Gordon and Tatsuya. Ooh. Hello, Tatsuya. Nice to see you, Tatsuya.
Tatsuya.
And apologies. I had a wrong setting on the previous video, so I didn't know if people can actually join. But you can now.
I think once you switch it, of course it doesn't help, you know?
Yeah. But we're live, and we've got... Here's what's going to be on the episode of the show.
Tell them the bad thing. Hold on. Tell them what happened that you lost the thing last time.
Well, we had the video set for only me, as opposed to public or friends of the Daverhood. Oh, are we losing the battery on that one? Oh. There we go. Ooh, our sound machine's getting a little hinky.
Yeah, that's the only one we have. The other one, the battery's dead.
Oh, so sad. Oh, well, I got these two. These two still work.
Yeah.
Is there a crying baby on this one?
No. Mm-hmm. This one, wait, there's a
woman screaming. Yeah. That's a good one. That's well, welcome to all of you, or at least 4 of you at the moment, to the Dave's Gone By Facebookio show. Going to be a classic Dave's Gone By episode. It's going to include Greeley crimes and old times. We're going to go inside Broadway for news of the Rialto. We'll have some Colorado limericks of the damned. Well, one limerick of the damned about the town of Brighton. We'll have story time, including the third and I believe final part of this delightful book, Vegetable Friends, by Bruce Kosiemba and Tony Lawler. Because I know you love that. We already got through the potato part of the book, but we do have some more vegetable friends. And what else? Oh, and Dave's Big Dictionary. You got to do that. Joyce goes through this book, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary of 75,000 plus definitions, and she tries to find a word about which I will speak.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sarsaparilla. Ooh. The dried roots of a tropical American Smilax, used especially for flavoring. The plant, a sweetened carbonated beverage flavored with sassafras. Oh. And an oil from a birch.
Cool.
Sarsaparilla.
Son of a birch. There it is. So sarsaparilla is going to be my word. If you can remember that, because I'm going to write it down so I won't forget. Sarsaparilla. Oh, you do have a crying baby.
That's not attached to the right one, though.
Oh well. Sarsaparilla is going to be the word for Dave's Big Dictionary later in the program.
Oh, Stevie G.
Hey, Stevie! He was on the show a few weeks ago.
Stevie G, he came in hot and he rocked the show.
Well, he did. He did, and he's doing a bunch of...
he was all the way up, honey.
I don't get it. Yeah. But he's a comedian, so he's doing all these gigs on Long Island and in the tri-state area. So welcome to Stevie. And Tatsuya and Gordon and Robert and Sherry and all the folks who I'm not seeing yet, but I'm sure we'll be seeing and posting. Let me know you're here. Drop me a message on their Facebook page, Radio Dave Lefkowitz, or email me, davesgoneby@aol.com.
Or use your psychic powers.
Oh, here's John. John tunes in every week.
Johnny.
Welcome, John. Hey, yeah, sorry again for the late start, but we're doing it.
Tell them you broke the interwebs.
Broke the interwebs.
David did the show, but he did 5 minutes only just for him.
Yeah, which is basically my life anyway. So it's so great to see you all. Tell your friends if somehow you were looking for us.
Or frenemies. Tell your frenemies.
Especially your frenemies.
Frenemies are the best.
Tell everybody. And Drew. Hello, Drew. All these cool people are finding us.
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew calling Dr. Drew through the Daverhood for the 667th episode of the show. So how was your week, hon?
Good. I had a bad IT pain, some sort of leg pain, but good.
IT pain? They weren't helping you here with computers? What do you mean IT?
They did, yes. I just, leg, it's my IT band. I hurt my leg part, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good time.
How did you, well, you did it from swimming,
Swimming, because we normally swim in a pool that's 3 or 4 feet. When you swim in a pool that's 6 foot or 5 foot, you have more place to, wangle your hip.
Yeah, so instead of kicking like this, you're like, wah, Aquaman.
Yeah.
But if you're using your hips and you're not used to those muscles, man.
I know, I broke it.
You just sprained. You didn't even sprain it. It's
pulled
sore.
Something. I did it bad.
Oh, you pulled? Really?
Because I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. Yeah, I thought it was sciatica, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, speaking of sitting, past couple of days I've had diarrhea. Yeah. No, wrong one. Oh, there you go.
It's not a good way to get listeners, honey.
No, this is what happened this week. I was fine, everything. Working really hard and doing all the stuff I do and teaching and dealing with other things.
And your new clog dancing. You have your clog dancing workout. Yeah.
Go figure clog dancing would clog me. Because what happened was we go out to dinner on Tuesday night just before Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Right, which is as...
Where did we go?
All my listeners would know. I think we went to the Thai place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so,
no place new. You've been there before.
No, but I wanted to have something nice in that last meal before. Oh my God!
Maybe it's all the shrimp you've been eating.
That could be.
Which are very kosher.
Oh, true. Yeah, because I had shrimp at home and I was eating a lot of pasta. I'm assuming the pasta bound me up. I'm assuming that having a lot of pasta, I had the pasta with the squid ink earlier in the week.
Yes, the squid ink pasta.
And I made it with a lot of garlic and oil.
That was good.
Yeah, but I'm figuring...
say hi to Paul.
Oh, hey, Paul. So, I head towards Yom Kippur, have a nice meal before. I don't even overeat beforehand, as I usually do. Yeah. Usually, I'm figuring I'm going to be like a Somalian. I'm going to
you're like a snake.
Get that mouse in me and have it digest for days later. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go 24 hours without food. I'm going to have flies swarming around my head and crawl along the sands of Africa. Meanwhile, it's like, no, just don't eat for a day. But, so, I have a nice meal beforehand, and all Yom Kippur day, where I do nothing. I don't work, I watch TV. I saw a couple of old Charlie Chaplin movies. That was fun. Sat in bed, lay in bed, hour after hour, slept a bit, resting a bit, read a bit. But as I'm doing this, and I'm usually excited on Yom Kippur because it means I lose weight, because it's like, hey, I'm not eating for a day. I'm going to drop a pound. But meanwhile, my belly's just growing bigger. I'm literally like an Ethiopian. I'm like a kwashiorkor. What?
You're pregnant.
Or that. Or have you been doing things to me at night while I'm asleep, dear?
No, Potato has.
Oh,
maybe a potato baby, like a litter.
Oh, Debbie, I done gave you my tuber. All right, Potato, don't even go there. So, but I'm wondering what the hell's going on, because I'm just sitting there and I passed by a mirror and my belly's like, I've been losing weight. Ever since the semester started, you'll be amazed how much I've lost since August till now. And yet, I go, I'm walking around, you're making fun of my belly, I'm like, why is my belly so damn big? I look fatter now than I was 5 pounds ago. And I'm, what the hell's going on? I'm logy, I'm walking around all of Yom Kippur Day. And then I get through Yom Kippur, I get like one beverage into me, and horrible cramp.
Oh, God.
And then I realized this is almost what happened to me when I had that iliopsoas problem. Because they're all tied together.
Yes.
And it's like, it's agony. It wasn't agony. But I'm like, oh, I know what's going on here. There's stuff in here that needs to go. And that's why my belly's been swelling out the size of Europe. So I go, and then I go, and then so I don't get the in-between thing. I go from huge constipation to immediate diarrhea. This is my life. So, and thank goodness it isn't like the relentless back and forth to the toilet 20 times. It's like I'm holding fine, but when I go, it's like splat, sploosh,
Yeah, but
spliggity,
then
splat.
also our dog has it, so I wonder if you both have something.
When I was having sex with a dog.
No, but I wonder if you have, like, if there's some kind of virus or something.
Can a dog and a human?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I didn't give him my Thai food, and I wasn't eating his yucanuba.
You sure?
Or his Hill's diet.
You sure?
Maybe I tasted it to see
You
if it was.
both ate the rice, but the rice I made new.
No, the rice is helping. I hope.
Yeah.
I assume.
Both
I don't know.
You and Ufti should have rice for lunch.
So this is my thing. But since Thursday,
Well,
I'm managing. It's not like I have colitis, God forbid. Maybe I do.
No.
But it's just like every time I go, I look down. It's like, oh, look at that. I would love a nice hard stool, which is coinciding with our dog getting soft stools again. So I don't know. This was my Yom Kippur this year.
sounds like fun.
It had been one of the easier fasts. Wasn't really hungry. Got a very, very light headache by about 3, 4 o'clock, which I always get. Because I'm not eating, but I am drinking some water. Don't get it. Don't know. But anyway, old Dave, because I was so proud of myself, because I get so active when the autumn semester begins, that I'm without even trying to, I'm more aerobic and I'm losing weight. But then I'm passing by a mirror and I'm like, why am I even bothering? I look on the scale, it says one thing. I look in the mirror, it says another. What the hell's wrong here? I mean, it's like there's duty. There's doo-doo in me that is clinging to my body and does not want to leave me. It loves me so much.
Oh, that's sweet.
There's feces in my bowels that says, I love Daddy. I don't want to go. I don't want to go down the big wet hole and into the sewer system.
Yeah, that's
I want to stay in Daddy's intestine. He loves me.
God.
I'm just saying.
That's disgusting.
Are you all having lunch now? All having breakfast
I hope
here?
not.
By the way, welcome to Drew and John and Paul and Patty and all the folks who are tuning in to the Daverhood live on this Saturday, September 22nd, first day of fall here and everywhere, but here in Greeley, Colorado. What else is there? So I've checked off 2 of the topics on my my list here, Yom Kippur and diarrhea. I can talk about, let's say, schadenfreude. I was supposed to interview an actress a day ago, yesterday as a matter of fact, not for the this program,
the one
but
who wrote
for
the book?
a place. We're not going to mention her name, but someone that I write about for a women's magazine on Long Island, and so it's been a real pain to get this not her fault, but just between the publicist and her book and whatever, just trying to get a copy of the book and trying to deal with and reach her. Finally we get it, we set it up. It's yesterday, it's supposed to be that, and she has to cancel and move it to Monday because she has norovirus.
Ew.
Is that real bad?
You might, norovirus is the one that you have to poop in the, remember the thing that the doctor gave me the one time? You have to poop in a little tray and you bring it to the hospital
That's
and they
noro?
analyze it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Because if it's norovirus, it's it's contagious and it's very bad for you.
Oh.
That's the one that, remember, there was an outbreak somewhere and that's when they gave you the, remember you asked what that thing was? You thought it was like a dish? But it's a thing
Yeah.
you poop in.
Yeah.
Norovirus is bad.
I didn't get it from her unless texting is a way to get norovirus.
It's a bad one. Fever, you do pooping like you do.
And I have to say,
Maybe you got it. Maybe you got it, yeah.
by mental
Yeah,
osmosis.
yeah.
I don't know. All I know is, and this is terrible to say, and I'm not going to mention her name, but there was a little bit of that schadenfreude in me. This sense of not good. Not that I wish it on her, but she has had such an incredibly charmed life.
I don't think the book is that good.
I'm not saying it's a wonderful book.
No,
I'm saying
it's not impressive.
that in reading this book,
Yeah, but can I tell you something?
investigating her life. Yeah.
People put out what they want.
True.
You know, everybody reconstructs. Look at all these people on Facebook. Everybody reconstructs their reality.
True. Oh, by the way, welcome to Karen from my old library in
everybody
Patty and Paul and
reconstructs
Drew.
reality.
I know, but her reality constructs a lot better than everybody else's I've ever seen.
I don't think it's
She
true.
is rich. She's not hugely famous, but she is a name. She's
know
married
she
to
was.
someone more famous and rich than she is.
Tell me who. Just
I can't,
write it down. Write it down.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Is it potato?
Yes. Yes. Da 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 da. So and apparently, whether you believe, I seem to believe that they're greatly in love. Still,
I
they
think
were married for a decade and a half. They have 2 healthy, happy kids. They live in New York. I mean, they've just got, or
I don't buy it.
it's never like she's had a I think her mom is still alive and well. She's never had horrible, terrible
But even neurovirus
tragedy or
isn't bad.
depression.
Like, it's not,
I think she may have battled some level of, because she goes to therapists and things. So maybe but I'm just, I look at my life, and I look at her life, and there's a certain level, she's got norovirus, good.
Yeah, but there's some people who look at your life and say you have any kind of job, you have a home.
Oh.
I mean, these are like,
A homeless person could look at my life and go, oh, I hope he gets cancer.
Academics.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend who I call my sister, that academics, although we don't make much money in the scheme of things, we have a pretty posh life.
I wouldn't call it posh.
I work 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
If I want to make more money, I teach another class.
All right. Yeah.
Right? We get health insurance.
True.
Right.
Well, we pay through the ass for it. But
I pay a lot for it.
Okay, you pay through the ass
And,
for it.
we can afford to have pets. We can afford to have a home. Like, we have it good, too. So
We have it better than many.
Most.
Okay, yeah, if you include most of Africa and
No. I'm talking about just
Latin America.
No, I'm talking about just the U.S.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about if you get people who make the same amount of money, but don't have an academic lifestyle, they're in much more shape.
They're in not as good. I should be more grateful
You
than I
should.
am, rather than just feeling frustrated and disappointed all the time. But that is the
that's
nature
your
of an
personality.
artist. Yeah, that's the nature of people like me. At the same time, who can look at my life and go, I know my life is good. I know it is. Thank
Better
God.
than good.
It's very good. But at the same time, I can look at this person whose life seems...
But she's just
So
like
much-
a vanilla cookie, like no substance, no interest. I have no interest in her.
Okay. Well, 90% of America doesn't have an interest in me. This person they see on TV half the time.
Why?
I mean, I have a few dozen people who have enough interest on me to
Because
tune
you
in
have
on Saturday
blonde
morning.
hair and a good look, please.
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
Just because someone has blonde hair and looks okay. Mm-mm.
I'll take it. I wouldn't mind have... I'll take any hair at this point. I'll take blonde pubes if I need. Something. If I were better looking, I'd have more people tuning into Facebook. I'm sure. If I were a hot blonde, I'd have about 500 people tuning in. If I had boobs, 700.
You do have boobs.
If I... My wife, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. At least I have her
Yeah, you should
by
be,
my side, in my corner,
Yeah, for men, marriage
supporting me.
is, No,
Yeah.
for men, marriage does help mental health and longevity, so you're lucky.
It yeah, no question. I'm lucky
You
in a
get
lot
to
of
be
ways.
an artist. In some countries, you would be working in a factory.
That's-
And even here, you could be working on Undercover Boss, making,
I could be at the JBS Swift plant,
yeah.
shaving meat. Whatever the hell they do. Rending cows into offal and, etc. I wonder which smells worse, the JBS plant or the cheese plant, depending on the cheese that they're making.
If you use rennet, if you culture stuff, it's probably stinky.
That could. Well, I'm a cultural person. And sometimes that stinks.
On with the show, honey. I gotta go soon.
We have an hour here. And by the way, welcome. We have 2 Karens watching.
Wow, Karen exponentially to the second power.
Yeah,
Woo!
Karen squared represent. So,
I do this.
so shall we do Greeley Crimes and Old Times? And I can get out of my depression and funk.
Actually, it's funny. I had a dream that you said Karen. I had a dream about. Remember Karen, my friend who got married years and years ago? We went to her wedding. I had a dream about her.
Oh, Is
my
she an African
past.
American person?
Yes.
How's she doing?
I don't know. I dreamt about her, and she has a kid.
Well, Facebook her. Yeah,
I know.
See
It's
how she
so
is.
weird how I dreamt that we were like in a class, but we were like our age now, but yet we were in the classroom. I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah.
Wow.
I loved her. She was such a good friend.
Yeah, I had that classic classroom dream.
What's that?
Sometimes it was either on Yom Kippur or one of the other nights, where it was one of those nightmare things where I couldn't find the class. I was late and later, and just going through hallways and couldn't find where my class was.
That's called freshman.
Well, that's the name of the dream. That's the name of the.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. At my age,
everybody
and
has it.
I wasn't late. I was late to teach.
Yeah, sometimes people, they're waiting for the airplane, or you're gonna do something or do a presentation, and you think you forget your notes or your computer.
Yeah.
It's that. It's your subconscious.
I just hope that's not sort of a foreshadowing that one morning I'm going to oversleep or one day I'm going to.
But you know what? That's okay. That's life.
Yeah, that's what people say. That's life. That's what people say.
Ooh.
Thank you. Well, I say, we do Greeley crimes at all times. Joyce just found a ring on Potato's arm.
I have to take off.
Oh, it's pretty.
To read it, what it says.
Does it have anything, or is it just plastic?
It says, stunt.
Okay.
Something XXUTUI stunt.
Not sure. Here, why don't you don't have to put your face, but put your hand. It's a special ring. You can bring it closer to the camera there. Yeah. Ooh. See, I skint on nothing when it comes to jewelry for my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. Let me tell you.
This I got for this bracelet. Ow.
Oh, easy.
I got for $2 at a
that was
yard sale in Philly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yard sale. Yeah, because Mount Airy is all with the rich folks, so you go there, and probably Chestnut Hill, and they had a lot of good stuff in yard sales. They used to have community yard sales.
Is that where you got me my nipple rings?
No, you don't wear them.
I should. I don't know. I did the piercing. I might as well. Just kidding.
Really
anyway,
cool.
Welcome, by the way, to Karen and Sherlitz. What a marvelous name.
Let me see.
Sherlitz. Hello, welcome.
I would say Charlotte's.
Maybe.
Like
okay.
Charlotte's?
I'm not sure. Let us know how you pronounce
Charlotte,
it. Drop us an email.
Charlotte's.
And Terry also. So welcome
Terry.
to the Daverhood.
Terry.
Live on this Saturday, September 22nd. It's Greeley Crimes and Old Times. So we can tell folks that this is a segment that we've been doing for a couple of years now and has to do with a couple of columns in the Greeley Tribune, which is our local newspaper here in Greeley, Colorado, where one column has to do with phone calls that come to the Greeley Police Department in Weld County. And yeah, of course, obviously some phone calls that come to the police are emergencies and something really bad is going down. Other phone calls are, well, how would you describe them? They're unnecessary, to say the least. Meanwhile, there's also a friend of ours, a friend of the Daverhood, who started a column long time ago called Greeley 100 Years Ago, where he goes through the papers back in 1918 and looks for nostalgic things, looks for funny things that we look back on 100 years later and go, there are some pretty eccentric people living here.
And some stuff is the same. Like
some
the
of
chickens,
the hobos, chickens. We may have a hobo alert today.
Whoa.
I will just apprise you of that.
I'll get you the bell.
Oh, we got the bell, and also we have, and I'll keep it sort of lowish, the Ooga horn. Just in case we have, we need these for an alert. I do have the Ooga horn.
Here's this if you want to announce the alert.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, that's great. And the bell. Oh, we are all set.
Prepared.
We're all prepared here. Are you ready,
And
babe?
the word of the day, you have the secret, well, not secret, but the sarsaparilla.
Well, that's later. That's
Okay,
Dave's
that's
Big
later.
Dictionary.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And also, yeah, we'll go inside Broadway. We've got a Limerick. We've got StoryTime. We got stuff.
Wow.
And a Saturday Segue of songs in the news.
Cool.
So you're here for a fun show. But first, the fun begins, as it were, in earnest, with Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Police responded to a church on 28th Street for a report of 8 cows grazing in the baseball field.
Wait, 28th Street?
Yeah. There's a church somewhere somebody parked cows on a church.
That's good. They don't have to do lawn mowing.
Yeah,
You
that's
save
right.
your gardener if the cows chew the grass.
Or you know what they call it? Lawn mooing.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Thank you very much. And if they were playing baseball, I sure hope one of those cows was named Mookie Wilson.
Oh, I hope
Stan Musial.
I hope they don't leave cow pies.
Oh no, that would.
That's horrible on Sunday. Everybody wearing their church vests, going in there like right in.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yes.
Yes.
You
I should
stepped
make
in duty?
No. We've been talking about duty the whole program because of the diarrhea stuff, but no.
What?
This I try and tell my kids. I don't have kids, but the students that I teach here.
Los estudiantes de tuyo.
De mío in English, is it 100 y 2020, English 122, which is basic essay composition. That clarity is the most important thing, more than anything, more than style, more than.
What does it have to do with cow pies?
Well, it has to do with being absolutely clear in your writing and making sure your reader knows exactly what you're talking about.
I think people know what cow pies are.
Yeah, but we're talking about baseball.
Okay.
So, this week in our phones, I don't know if all the students did, but certainly all the faculty got an alert from the police department, the Colorado UNC police. And it's like, oh, alert.
The bat one?
Yeah, there's someone in a parking lot.
They found them,
Yeah, but there's this guy.
We don't know.
Warning everybody. The police are warning us.
Yes.
And by the way, this is 24 hours later. It's not while it's happening.
Because they found it on Instagram. It was on
Posting
Instagram,
on,
and they got it that way.
So please be alerted that in the parking lot by one of the buildings here, police encountered someone holding a bat.
No, they did not encounter them.
What's the word?
They saw an Instagram of somebody doing it. That's why it was delayed.
So, that makes sense. They saw an Instagram of someone holding a bat.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'm thinking of is, whoa, some guy, probably a little drunk, has got a baseball bat or a softball bat.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging it around, hitting people, or threatening to hit people in the head, smashing windshield. Oh, my God. Some
what would you
crazy
call
guy with a bat.
How would you differentiate that it's a furry bat?
It was only through it later on that they said, no, this is actually a live
about rabies, because that's what got it.
Yeah. And so all they had to say was live bat. All they was
but we don't know it was live. How do we know? We don't know. Yeah.
Because a dead bat.
They could have said an animal, a bat, comma.
A marsupial. What kind of is a bat a marsupial or is it a?
No, it doesn't have a pouch. It's a nocturnal. A bat. What would you call it? I don't know how you would say that.
Is it vermin? Is it like a mouse? What is a mouse thing?
No.
Or a lizard? It's a. Oh gosh, what family
mouse is a mammal. It gives live birth.
Mouse is. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we call a lizard. What's a snake? It's a
reptile.
A bat.
Bats
I
give
think
live
it's marsupials.
birth.
Yeah.
No, marsupial. No.
Well, anyway. So you go through half of this thing from the police, like, gee, do I need to avoid this parking lot? I'm a guy swinging a bat.
Well, they could say a guy, somebody who held a bat, which could be a rabies risk.
Yeah.
And then you could know, like, because how would you indicate that? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just saying. Oh,
what about an animal? A bat, the animal, or bat
or
the
potentially rabid bat.
Yes.
So that way I would know. Well, you would not get a Louisville Slugger that could potentially give you rabies.
That's a good call.
It's a good example of saying, make sure you're clear, because it was 2/3 of the way down the alert. They said, but it was a lie, or it was a furry bat, potentially rabid.
Yeah.
And the police literally have to email everybody and tell them, if you see a bat, don't play with it.
Yeah.
Don't pick it up, because
even in bat saliva, you don't have to be bit to get rabies.
That is the level of intellect here of the student body at UNC. Is like, if you see a bat,
I don't think people think. It's like the people who took the baby moose and put it in their car in Estes. Like, why would you put a moose in your car? Like, I don't get it. They thought the moose was hurt. It's wildlife. The moose will find its mom or dad. I just think sometimes people don't use common sense.
Well, maybe those people had a lot of questions and they needed antlers. Or they had a lot of style and they needed some styling moose.
I don't get it. Or the people who leave out food and get bear attacked. It's like...
Well, that can be a mistake. You leave a little food out, garbage, you forget to tie, you're lazy, you fall asleep, but don't tie up your garbage, and suddenly a bear's rummaging through your stuff. We had a neighbor leave his damn garage door open accidentally, and somebody stole his bicycle.
That I'm
happens.
still suspicious, yeah.
Okay. I don't think he stole his own bike.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, if you want clarity, that's an example of, like, if somebody's holding a bat, please tell us, like, it's a rabid, potentially,
but maybe
bat.
they did that so they would get interest of the reader.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe that was like a woo, doo-doo, like, you don't know what it is, read further.
Not so much doo-doo, but da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, because Batman. Oh, thank you very much. Welcome to Raymond, by the way. Aren't you glad you tuned in right now, Raymond? Oh, he's a friend of the Daverhood, by the way.
Can we call him Raimundo?
Raimundo, in Beth, Italy, in Charlotte, and Karen, Dos Karenes, and Patty, and Paul, and so many of the other... Oh, and Nancy gave us a thumbs up. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy is bats for this program. You know Nancy?
Nancy's our friend neighbor.
Oh, welcome, Nancy. I don't know your last name, but hello, Nancy. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a thumbs up.
Nancy, our friend.
Yay.
Read Nancy's column in the Tribune as well.
Oh, is that
she writes
senior
in 60
thing?
or better, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's Nancy.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah.
Sorry that they drained the pool. We swim with her, too.
Yeah. And we do mostly exercise in the pool. We can't swim. It's too little.
You're right.
We do exercising.
Okay. Anyway, are we ready for more Greeley crimes all the time? I had to do that little diversion there. Although I guess if the police were involved, that was technically crime-related as well.
That's a really...
In Boulder, 2 medical doctors at Colorado University Hospital got into a fist fight outside the building.
Wait.
Check this out. Take your shot. That's quite a scrap. Quite a scrap that they got into. Ooh, yeah.
Over what?
Well, they have had a long-running feud, and one called the other, quote, a Kaiser.
Whoa! Don't be throwing those ethnic assumptions.
Them's fighting words back in 1918, let me tell you.
Yeah, but a lot of times, you have to have ego to be a physician, so...
One doctor got a bloody lip before passers-by separated them.
At least they could treat each other.
That's right, the doctors,
oops, sorry, now let me just stitch that lip, don't move.
Well, this was 100 years ago. I don't know how much they probably had Band-Aids, a little bit of gauze, and some alcohol.
God, some antiseptic lotion or something.
Yeah. Dr. Cronkite's special serum.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to give you some snake oil elixir.
This is a potion that you can take.
That's right.
Here's some tree bark.
Some cod liver oil.
Yeah. And some herbs, medicinal herbs.
Yeah. Is that what they're calling it now?
Greeley police responded to 23rd Avenue.
Oh, no. Good.
And a woman who ruined her husband's fishing trip that day with her incessant nagging by text message.
Yeah, but there's a thing called turn off your phone.
I know, right? This is what's freaking me out. This is what I don't understand.
I text you all the time and you ignore me. So that's one.
Well, no, because one of the other things that we're doing in one of my classes is we're reading a story from Rolling Stone by this writer named Matt Taibbi. He's one of the best writers out there.
He used to write for the Daily News.
Did he really?
He was a sports writer.
Matt Taibbi?
Or he wrote for the Daily News or the Post.
Because he does politics and...
But I think he wrote for the Post. Maybe the News. I don't know.
One of those.
I'd have to ask Nat would know. My friend Natalie would know.
Yeah. I mean, I keep telling my student he'll win the Pulitzer at some point. So he's that good.
No, but I think he wrote for one of the local, like the Raggy papers.
But he wrote a story on... what the hell did he write? He wrote a story about student loans. And how it's a whole shell game, a con game, ruining
that guy
lives.
ruins everything. Adam ruins everything. Did one too. Yeah.
Student loans are just. I mean, and it's a marvelous article.
It's a Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
And we're going through it in terms of how he's structuring the argument and all that. But there's a moment where he talks about this guy who was driven to the point of suicide because his student debt. He came out of school with $35,000 in debt, and it ballooned to $100,000.
What?
Because of the way...
Holy God, it's a Ponzi.
And he drove himself to a hotel, was going to just turn on the gas in the car and die. And what happened was, it was just overburdened by... Well, he was depressed and he could never pay off. And that he would be receiving phone calls from creditors.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they do. And he said he had, out of college... Straight up college. He graduated summa cum laude from a good university. Okay. And then got a teaching job straight off.
And so he paid his loan.
Well, but it was a part-time teaching job, making crap money, and his loan was already twice what he made per year.
And he was deferring, yeah.
So he's got all this going on, and now creditors are calling him night and day, and even when he's teaching, they're calling him. And that was the one moment where I was like, turn off your phone. If you don't want to deal with a phone call from a creditor when you're in front of a classroom doing your gig,
you never have to leave your phone on.
Phone
You never have to leave your phone on.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the home phone, we can unplug it. But a cell phone is like...
Yeah, but with caller
bye.
ID, just have people, text you.
Don't look at your phone.
I know.
Put it down.
But it is stressful.
Because if the teacher is going like this half the day, that gives the students...
But it's stressful because you just feel like you never have a break from it. It's like, it's harassment.
It is. It is. And I remember when a friend of mine was dealing with that a lot, and I dealt with it once or twice when times were tight, and people were, and I was like, it's really, I mean, I consider the spam phone calls that we get, the fake, the robocalls that we get, harassment too. And that happens maybe 2 or 3 times a day.
Imagine someone's calling you 100 times a day.
Or 6 different creditors from different companies and different banks.
They'll do it. They'll just harass and harass.
But I'm just saying, there are times, if they're calling you on a cell phone...
But he doesn't mean he answered. It just means he got the calls.
True.
So it's the volume of calls is upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, that could be it too. Maybe he's not physically looking and answering.
Honestly, now you could block numbers, and as soon as they make a new number, you block the new number. You just keep blocking numbers. That's what I would do.
That is good.
Yeah.
But anywho, anyway, so that was the text message one. Police responded to 35th Avenue, and a woman who said she trapped several cats in a dog crate.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Well, she found these stray cats.
First of all, like you don't herd cats in a dog crate. What is up with that?
What's the difference?
They need their own crates.
What?
Yeah, they do.
You can put a cat in a dog crate. What's the big difference?
You need to have them separate.
Oh, she put them all into
They'll
one
be
big...
like some huge cat fight.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, she said, animal control to pick them up. When officers told her that they pick up cats only in approved traps... okay. It's like, she went through the trouble. She happened to have, I guess she had dogs. Maybe she had a dog crate handy.
Why
she goes there to
just
getting the cats
first and make sure that she's getting in the right thing.
But so the cops told her, nope, we will only take them in approved traps. I love the moxie of this woman. The caller said, I understand. I'll just let these feral cats loose then. Zing!
Whoa!
I love it. It was that moment of like, look, I did part of your job for you. They're in this space. Take them.
Yeah, but it's also dangerous if you have a bunch of cats in a dog carrier. And
well, that's what animal control deals with.
I don't know.
If let's say a raccoon gets into our house, right? And I'm brave enough. I put on gloves. I put on all this stuff, and I managed to trap the raccoon in one of our dog's carrying things. Is a cop going to tell me, or an animal control person? Well, it has to be in a raccoon
carrier. What's the critter keeper? He'll take it.
Well, yeah.
He'll be like, I want the raccoon to skin and eat. Give me the raccoon. I eat him now. No, he would release him somewhere.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, she did the work for you.
Yeah, but the problem, if they're in those traps, it's easy to see them. You can get them out one by one. Yeah. Would you want to put your hand into a dog crate full of cats?
This is why animal people have rubber.
Even a glove. Cats have claws.
I don't care if you're wearing the proper gloves.
They could go.
An animal person is trained to go find a scared feral animal hiding by a gate or a fence.
You didn't see the animal people chasing a pit bull when we were here.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I would not go near that.
It was like the Keystone Cops. Yeah.
No, and I've got to tell you, when I was driving towards school 2 days ago, out of our complex, that dog, kind of a poodle-esque, fluffy dog with a collar, walking unaccompanied, straight up our thing, no owner, no nothing, on the side. And I'm thinking, am I going to go and stop the car and deal with the dog?
Who he belongs to.
Yeah, and I figured, I knew who it belongs to. That dog growled at me one time.
That's a Zukar. Is it a Zuki?
Could be.
Or is it the other one down? Is it up the hill or down the hill?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's down there.
Oh no, I mean that one. But he's nice, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm not, not wearing gloves, not wearing anything, and I've had experience with that dog, so I'm looking like, so I'm like,
all dogs growl at you.
I don't know what that is. Oh, I guess Pussy likes me better. Yeah. Thank you ever so much. But it's not like I wanted that dog to get killed or hit. No. But I wasn't going to go out of my way to stop and help it and then turn around the other way.
It's not the animal's fault. Sometimes the owners are just dumb. Well, you know, like you keep your animals,
I mean, this is an animal that obviously had been groomed and had a nice collar on, and they can't keep the damn thing on a leash. They can't keep it in their yard where it belongs.
And if there's another dog or something, they're going to have trouble.
Yeah, I'm serious. You don't know what's going to be running loose. Like, tasty dog.
Potato.
Just saying, Mommy. Just saying. If potatoes ever decide to get carnivorous, eventually they'll go to people, but they will start on dogs.
They'd be bad for people's ankles.
We like ketchup. Now we're going K9. Yeah. Don't even know what that means.
Keep going.
I'm going to keep going. I will.
Keep going. Oh.
Joyce just crossed her leg, lifting up her skirt to cross her legs. And I got a vision of Nirvana, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Hello. Hey, Frank. Frank just says hi. Or Frank just joined in. We know Frank. And isn't that Frank from the Gothic screenwriter guy we know? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Your former trainer?
No, that would be Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong Frank. But hi, Frank. Yeah. And Eileen and Bruce and Raymond. And, we got a thumbs up from my old boss, Madeline. So, yay. Isn't that lovely?
Ooh, Madeline.
Nice lady. Very nice lady.
And
I was a terrible employee, but she was a very...
anti-cats.
It could be.
Yeah.
Let's see. A teenage driver in a motor car was exceeding the speed limit when he almost hit a family crossing the street near the Canfield Hotel.
Ooh.
Police said...
I just have to stand up for my back.
Now, this guy was exceeding the speed limit when he almost hit this family.
Yeah.
How fast do you think he was driving?
25 miles an hour.
No.
10 miles?
17.
Oh, I'm covering myself.
The fellow was going 17 miles an hour and exceeding the speed limit.
I got to put my foot
assume by
behind
2 miles.
Could you sit forward a little bit so I can put my foot there?
There we go.
Okay, one more of my legs are sore. Okay.
Hold on. That's it. I got to move the computer then.
Okay,
hold on.
That's good.
One sec. Got to move this back here. That'll help. There we go.
You look
handsome. Why, thank you, darling. You're looking pretty good yourself.
Thank you.
Let's see what else we got here. We have police responding. Do your thing. To 35th Avenue. And a woman who said... that was the cat woman. I'm sorry. But we have... honey... We have an awe alert.
Aww.
Everybody at home, all the folks who are watching, and call your neighbors. This is the moment where, in anticipation, we just go, aw.
Why don't you practice with this here?
Yeah. Ladies, awe alert. It's time for an awe alert. Are you ready to go awe?
I'm ready.
We're ready to go awe.
I practice.
Police responded to 4th Avenue for a report of 4 lost ducks roaming around the neighborhood. The caller wanted police to, quote, get them going in the right direction.
I think that's the scared straight movie.
Now, later the same day, this is like a separate item, police responded to the same location for a report of, quote, real pretty ducks in the yard. Aww. The caller said the ducks were too nice looking to be wild.
That's a little look-sis, right?
I'm telling you. And let's see, and it was worried that someone had lost their pets.
Aww.
Police removed the ducks. Hopefully they were in proper duck crates.
Yes, and then later that day they had a Peking duck with
Mushu pancakes.
Yes.
No peeking. Oh. I'm kind of wondering, do you think you could maybe do our sponsors? Could you talk about Hewlett Minuteman Press for about 2-3 minutes?
No.
On camera?
No.
Okay. All right. It's going to get iffy here. I'm having coffee with milk. Not kidding. Okay. Oh, sure. Make my life worse. There we go. Thank you.
Well, let's see if I can do it.
Just trying to put that through the megaphone thing.
Amplifies it, no?
H.M. Foster. H.M. Foster. Mm-hmm. Now, he is part of the upcoming Fair and Tractor Show.
Does he drink sarsaparilla?
He might, because you know who he is.
Who is he?
He is the superintendent of goatdom.
You told me you had that job.
No, I'm sheepdom.
Oh, okay.
I do the sheep.
Goatdom?
H.M. Foster does the goats. He is the superintendent of goatdom
Oh, God help
for
me.
the upcoming fair and tractor show. And he asks that all owners of fine milch goats bring them to the fair.
Milk goats?
Well, no, more than milk. Milch.
What's that?
I think that's German for milk. It's like milkable, like Liebfrau milch.
Oh,
is
that's cute.
when you milk
You
a
read
pretty
the
girl,
Hans thing.
which I would be very glad to do.
You read the Hans thing, so yeah.
So if you have a fine milch goat, please bring it to H.M. Foster so he can display it at the exhibition at
That's
the
so
Fair and Tractor
cool.
Show. Yeah, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so too. We're coming up. Let me do an ID, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour Mountain Time, which would put about 1 o'clock, or no, boy, I'm all off.
What's wrong?
This diarrhea thing is resetting my brain. It will be in one more minute, noon
Oh, David.
Eastern Time.
David joined.
Hey, welcome to David and Frank and Eileen and Bruce and Raymond and Beth and Terry and all the folks and Nancy and Madeline to the Daverhood for the 667th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebook program of the stream. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife Joyce, whom you can't see, but has been doing the sound effects and joining us. This is Potato. We're here live on the September 22nd for this episode. We're calling it Fall In because it is the first day of fall, and we've got so much fun stuff for you. We got a Saturday segue of songs in the news. We've got Dave's Big Dick Shinari. We'll go inside Broadway for news of the Rialto. We have a Limerick about Brighton, Colorado, and we will have, I'm missing something, I know that. And Storytime for Vegetable Friends. Yeah. So it's going to be a fun show. Stick around. We're getting into our second hour here in the Daverhood. But we're doing really crimes at all times. Police responded to a box store on 23rd Avenue.
A box store?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a store that sold boxes, but it's more like a big box retailer of electronic goods and things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And a man who walked up to the caller in the electronics section of the store and wanted to talk about religion. Because, what else do you do in a big box store but talk about
You walked
religion?
up to the customer or the employee?
The caller, I guess, is the employee at the store, or the store owner.
Okay.
And the store owner didn't want to deal with this guy. The caller told police he asked the man to go away.
Wow.
Didn't want to talk about religion. And then the stranger amazingly walked on water all the way back to Evans.
Wow.
Yeah, you never know with these things. Oh, welcome to... Remember we had two Karens? Now we have two Davids.
And we have a Howard.
And a Howard in the middle. Oh.
Wow.
And by the way, one David I don't actually know, but he tunes in quite a bit. And the other David also tunes in all the time, and it's from my high school. So yay, David, and yay,
Remember
Howard.
the Howard, what was that song? No One Ever Is to Blame. Was it Howard Plant? What was the name of that?
Howard DeVoto? No.
Howard, No One Ever Is to Blame. I don't know the...
I don't know. Howard Jones, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
You're
like
good,
1980s,
yeah.
thank you. If I don't know about 80s to 90s music, I know absolutely nothing in this world at this point.
Wow.
Anyway, where are we? Oh, we're talking about Sergeant Spears of Greeley. He is fighting the Great War in Europe.
Wow.
Bless his heart. And he mailed a German helmet to his sister, Ruth. And this is kind of cool. It's on display at MacArthur's hardware store. There is a hole in it. I mean, I know newspapers shouldn't editorialize, but this is pretty cool from 100 years ago. He mailed this German helmet to his sister Ruth, and it's on display at the hardware store. Mm-hmm. There's a hole in the right side, which we hope was made by a successful bullet.
Oh, God.
That's like a dark, twisty sort of thing. And this was World War I, not even World War II. But think about the editorializing of that. Pretty neat. Anyway, oh my goodness! I'll get this.
No, do this one.
All right, can you do the Ooga horn? Hobo alert! Hobo alert! Oh, I wonder. Wait, I may have. Do I have a hobo?
Do it here.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna. Here we go. Hobo alert. hobo alert. Or as Colin Mockery says...
So you killed your first hobo.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We have a hobo alert
Wow.
on Dave's Gone By when we're doing Greeley Crimes in Old Times.
Oh, you didn't talk about the most important thing.
Ooh, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Because we'll probably have a potato news next week,
Okay.
but we can talk about that after the hobo alert. But police responded, because this is breaking. This is important. People need to know that.
Yeah.
Forget about Judge Kavanaugh. Forget about all the stuff that's going.
Yeah. Forget about the Jersey Shore.
Police responded to a report of a panhandler on 22nd Street and 8th Avenue.
Because they put the pan out?
Yeah, he handles a pan. Maybe that's what he would do.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Good question.
I don't know.
Huh. Be cool. I would love to be a panhandler, but he'd be a bedpan. I don't want to ask for money. I just go up to people and show them my urine. It's like, no, I don't want anything. I'm not actually a vagrant. I have a house, but it's like, here, look. What do you think of the color this morning? Anyway, police responded to a report of a panhandler. Now I can't get that image out of my head of a guy just holding a bedpan.
Go forward. Move ahead.
Oh, wow.
What?
This panhandler, quote, she wasn't the normal type of panhandler.
Oh.
I was being sexist even in my thinking of this. Yeah. The caller said, quote, this woman looks like a human trafficker.
Oh my God! How do you look like a human trafficker?
Well, the problem is the caller could not articulate what it was about the woman that made the caller think she was into human trafficking.
Yes.
Other than, quote, she's a woman panhandling by herself.
So how human trafficker means like a whole other thing.
I don't know. Maybe she means a woman who is being trafficked.
Oh, like a slave, yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's different.
Yeah. No, because if there were women...
Why can't women... That's so sexist. Why can't women panhandle on their own?
I know, right?
Do you need a man to panhandle? It's not that complicated.
That'd be manhandling. Oh, thank you. Ow. She's kicking me in the can, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway.
My leg is sore.
Shall we go elsewhere, by the way? When we do Greeley Crimes in Old Times, sometimes we go elsewhere for our news and information. Dateline Germany. And I'm going to assist... I'm going to need potato for an assist on this. Yeah. Oh, no, I know what I need. No.
You could have used the finger puppet.
Could you play with him? Well, on camera?
Okay.
While we do this?
Oh, he's got a big... Wait,
I beg your pardon?
Hold on. Okay, I'll fix him.
Oh, look at him. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Dateline Germany.
Come here.
Can you fit him?
Okay.
Excellent.
Oh, I only got to squeeze
him. Yeah, you got to squeeze him. Squeeze it hard. Yeah, keep squeezing, baby. Oh, yeah. Make it bigger.
Wait.
All right, I'll put him on my head. It feels nice, actually. One of the rare good things about being bald is when you put something nice and cool on your head. Yeah, but I also have to stand up straight. Don't break him. Joyce, by the way, is putting a toy octopus on my head because our little octopus friend. We're going to be talking about him. Dateline Germany.
Oh, is it this predictive octopus?
More than predictive. Octopuses are smart. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. We know this. We know that octopuses can open jars, steal fish,
need that.
And they can even high-five each other.
Oh,
that should be an alert right there.
Can they high-eight?
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Though interactive, however, they're generally kind of asocial and temperamental, and they have unique behavioral patterns, like those who shown by Otto.
You got to see his feet. Put his feet up front.
Okay, hold on. I can't. Let me put them on my forehead. Maybe that'll work.
Oh man, 2 other people gave you a thumbs up.
Okay, they like octopuses.
Yeah.
I can't really make this.
Come here.
There we go. Let it be.
No, come to me.
I'm trying to. Okay, I'm coming. I hope this is worth the visual effect. There. Oh, that's beautiful. Right there. Okay. And see if I can do this now. For example, Otto, who caused blackouts at a German aquarium.
Whoa.
And Inky, who famously escaped a tank in New Zealand. Inky the octopus. So they learn through experience and... Ow! This is just an excuse for you to smack me in the head.
Come here.
Hope folks at home are enjoying this.
Set up.
Okay, there we go.
Hold on. Okay.
All right. So.
Don't hold so they can see the feet.
Well, it doesn't stay. It's.
Just hold it. Take it down.
All right.
Hold it. Show them.
Yeah, I can kind of hold him like this. Hello.
Whack him so he shows.
Okay, let's get him going. Oh, look at him. Actually, what we really ought to do is just for a moment. Check this out, folks. This is really the beautiful part. See,
Show his face.
This is how children get epilepsy in Japan. Oh, yeah.
I'll get the light.
Pretty neat. Anyway, there's our octopus. So, here's the deal about this this new thing that they're learning about octopuses
He fell. He wants
in
to
Germany. Oh, hi, Potato. So,
what's the thing that they turn
well,
off the
octopi
lights?
learn through experience and observation, and they even form lasting memories. Okay.
Oh, okay.
A desire to understand the evolutionary underpin.
Wait.
Yeah.
Memories like the corners of my tentacles. Slimy underwater memories
of the octopi. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You know what? Wasn't it?
That was
it
deep.
Lovely, dear.
Can
Lovely.
you stop him from Twitch? He's gonna.
No, he's okay. He's okay. So they want to find out about an octopus's brain. How do you do this without dissecting them?
You give them an ECG.
What is that?
An electroencephalogram.
Maybe afterwards, but you want to check the patterns and maybe change the working of the octopus's brain.
Oh, you put them on electric, like a Skinnerian box.
Oh, like a maze. I'm sure they've done that.
Skinnerian box is like you step on something and electrocutes you.
Why would you do that to a poor octopus?
Why not?
Oh. I mean, they certainly dance. They certainly do like this.
Yeah.
No.
That's for you.
If you give them a quarter. No, these scientists gave octopuses
cocaine?
Ecstasy.
Okay. It's just an excuse for them to buy it for themselves.
Oh,
you know, it's probably for lab. Yeah, we need that for the lab. Yeah.
How many grams did you? 86 grams.
And how much did you use?
30.
One part of a gram, half a gram.
Ecstasy, Molly, MDMA, the party drug.
Did they also put them in like strobe lights and disco music and like
right.
Saturday Night Fever for them?
Oh gosh. So here's the deal. So under the influence of ecstasy,
Oh God.
octopi became more social.
One would think so.
Yeah, well, one would imagine, right?
They held glow sticks and they liked DJ Pauly. They like, what's that music? That electronica music, right? EDM or whatever?
The octopus started falling in love with disco balls.
Yes, that's right.
It was like, where are your arms? But, they gave the octopi.
Welcome, Aaron and Jay.
Welcome, yes, Eric and Jay and David and Howard and David and Frank and Eileen and Nancy and Madeline and oh gosh, now we've got a crew.
We've got
our people watching. So here's the deal. Researchers put octopuses in the center of a 3-chamber tank.
Oh God.
With a Star Wars figurine on one side and another octopus on the other, but under like say protective thing.
This doesn't seem very scientific.
Well, undosed, like these sober octopuses.
They go when they were straight. They went to the other octopus, right?
When they were sober, they went to the toy. They went to play with the G.I. Joe or the Star Wars thing.
But then when they were high, they went to
after taking MDMA, the octopi were more relaxed and they hung more with each other.
Whoa!
And this is not a joke. They were more inclined to hug. Isn't that the most adorable thing?
Not really. They're stoned out of their gourds. They're probably, you know.
If you dose an octopus, it will be more huggy.
Maybe we need to do that for a lot of our branches of legislature.
Tell me. Well, here's the deal. Charles Nichols, a pharmacologist at Louisiana State University, School of Medicine, was impressed. He said, quote, "I've been giving psychedelics to fruit flies for years in my lab, but had yet to have seen one given to an octopus."
Well, they can't hug. I mean, fruit flies can't hug.
But, I mean, this is a state university. There's funding going towards a man who's giving ecstasy to fruit flies.
I know.
And our salaries are frozen for the next 3 fucking years.
I know.
Seriously?
How can we dance when the earth is turning?
What are our labs doing here? Where's our money going?
That's why I say AAUP. The only power you have is in a union.
No, granted, I understand that labs have to write grants and get the money.
Yeah. Well, they could show the benefits for people who have social phobia or phobic disorders where they can't, agoraphobia, so...
But there's like thousands of people who are hooked on ecstasy to begin with.
Yeah.
Just bring them in.
Yeah.
Why have to buy ecstasy for an octopus?
I had an anarcho-punk GA years ago.
Yeah.
And he was looking at kind of sexism or what's the gender roles in people who identify an anarcho-punk and do the clubs. So we went to the clubs. Right? Just go to a club.
Yeah. Gee, there's an excuse.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I've been wanting to study promiscuity in young women. Ow!
Sorry,
between 18 and 24.
You do not. That's disgusting.
Okay. Anywho. Sure. Moving on.
I'm going to send you to that lab to get some ecstasy. Maybe potatoes take it. They do look kind of stoned.
Well, let's see. I dosed this potato with ecstasy.
They all look like they're, yeah.
And he's like, come, let's hug.
Aww.
Oh, yeah.
Aww.
And, he's going, the shoes, the sneakers here are making him a little bit, whoa, I see colors. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Potato in the sky with sneakers. Potato in the sky.
Okay.
Picture yourself.
Mommy's got to leave soon, Potato. Daddy's got to finish his work.
Filled with butter.
Go stare at something. Go stare at the octopus, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Where the hell are... Okay, here it goes. We did the hobo alert. Mm-hmm. Police responded to a school on 16th Street. So no, it's not UNC. It says...
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Where one driver was blocking another driver in their parking spot. Mm-hmm. When the caller asked the other driver to move so she could back out, the other driver threatened the caller's daughter, asking if she wanted to throw blows.
Whoa!
I'm like, feel a parking lot rage, man.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
It's just, okay.
You want to throw blows, It's like those cheerleader moms when the girls don't win the championship and they kill each other and stuff. People get way too involved.
Now, if the cheerleaders would do blows, I'd be a judge. But
step back. Just step back. This is not your life.
Indeed. Let's see what else we got here. Oh my. Hold on. This is big. This is important.
It was a long walk.
Well, start singing already, Cheryl Wheeler.
And I now have an...
Yeah. Hold on. We gotta get to this. Get an alert ready.
They're red, they're white, they're brown. They get that way underground. There can't be much to do. And now they have blue ones too. We don't care what they look like when we meet them. Anyway, they can fit on our plate. Every way we can conjure to heat them. We're delighted and think that this great.
Yes, we have a potato alert, ladies and gentlemen. Potato alert.
That should lead into your new product.
Yes. Another good ball game is it? Well, we know this was 100 years ago because in our football team. But no, another good ball game is expected tomorrow at Island Grove Park.
Ooh.
Between the Brighton Cooners. Yeah, and Brighton is going to be our Limerick later in the day.
Prophecy.
Between the Brighton Cooners and
the Greeley Spuds.
Yes. Oh, the Greeley Spuds. Don't miss it. Admission is 50 cents for adults. Wow. 25 cents for kids, and that includes the war tax.
Thank goodness.
I know. Now, you keep alluding to this this great, incredible news that we read this week. That Heinz, after delaying, after promising...
Well, first it was a joke, and then it became real.
Was it actually a joke?
Yeah, they said at first it was a joke just to get publicity.
Kind of like the IHOP changing its name to IHOP. Remember that?
Too many people responded. They had to do it.
So, remember when IHOP said, hey,
I'm going to get a picture for you.
Oh, please, yes. IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, says, we're changing our name to IHOB for International House of Burgers. And it was just it was a ploy, and it worked to an extent, to remind people that they do more than pancakes, that they're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you can get meat there, too, on other kinds of dishes. Well, Heinz, being Heinz, said to its audience, its consumers, hey, we know we make ketchup, and now we also have mayonnaise. And they've been pushing for months now, Heinz making mayonnaise, trying to hone in on the Hellmann's market and the other folks who make mayo.
Mayo chop.
And then Heinz said, we're also thinking about a product called Mayo Chup. Mayo Chup, where, wait for it, they mix ketchup and mayonnaise together. What, dear, what?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
No,
what?
there was one that was a cup with both of the condiments mixed.
Oh, no, this is not homemade. They're not telling you to do this at home. Heinz was going to take the difficulty out of this, because it is rather difficult to mix ketchup and mayonnaise together. You have to open 2 jars and get 2 spoons and mix them.
It'll take a while because,
But Heinz said, we're going to have Mayo Chup. And ladies and gentlemen, apparently, it's finally here. Heinz ketchup mixed with mayonnaise. They're rolling it out first in Chicago, because it was initially a joke. It was just this idea of we're going to mix them together. They're doing it!
And it's coming to the UK, they just said.
They're bringing it to, well, England, they love tartar sauce and love mayo more than they like ketchup. But here we love our chups, except in, this is the irony, folks. This is the stuff that bothers me. They're rolling it out in Brooklyn, New York. Fine, fantastic. Nathan's hot dog ketchup. Mix it with mayo, might be great. And in Chicago, because Chicago, restaurants are known there for denying the use of ketchup on hot dogs. That you could put relish on it, you put cheese on it, you put mustard, of course, on a dog, but no, you're breaking some rule in the Windy City by putting ketchup on these things. And Heinz is saying, well, you've been putting mayonnaise, perhaps, on your dogs? What if, just as a gateway drug, we put a little bit of ketchup in with the mayonnaise? Try it. Just try it.
Just for fun.
And so Heinz is rolling out in Brooklyn, New York, in Chicago, and I think 1 or 2 other cities for a couple of weeks. And then all over America, we will experience the beauty, the joy, the wonder that is Mayo Chup. Ketchup and mayonnaise together. This excites potatoes to no end. Yeah! They love their ketchup pure. They love Heinz, of course. They love Sir Kensington, because that stuff is just the shit. But and sometimes if they're feeling a little bland, I might try the sriracha ketchup, or they'll sometimes have, if they're feeling a little more healthy, they might go for the organic or the low salt. But generally, ketchup, the occasional pat of butter for dessert, and maybe a little bit of sour cream if on a holiday. But basically, that's all they eat. But they're excited about Mayo Chup. I cannot tell the buzz in this room when I leave here at the end of the show of all my friends, all these potatoes. They've been talking nonstop about Mayo Chup for weeks. It's happening. It's out there. It's Heinz. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our potato alert for the week. This being Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. Me being Dave Lefkowitz. The program being Dave's Gone By. Do we have time for one more? And then you can get going. Oh no, you saw my wife. See how pretty she is.
Oh no.
Oh, and she's dropping potatoes. Oh no. Oh.
Okay, you talk. Oh.
Let me find one more alert. Police responded to O Street. Oh. And a cyclist throwing bottles at passing cars.
Whoa. What?
Yeah.
How could you even do that?
I guess they're...
That's really... Maybe he's like...
dangerous, yeah.
Maybe he's a deranged paper boy.
That could be.
Because he has that feeling, that maybe he just forgot what he's throwing.
Maybe it's payback for all those cyclists and marathon runners who are running along, people trying to hand them water.
Yes,
it's like, leave me alone, I'm just going to run
maybe
here.
He's recycling.
Could be. Or, well, he's cycling and recycling.
Yeah.
That means he's recycling. That's not even... Doesn't even... No. Yowza. Let's do one more. In the town where I was born, Orchard in Morgan County, the townspeople held a rally last night.
Ooh.
They burned the Kaiser in effigy.
Wow.
And this was just last week, so I didn't know. They burned the Kaiser in effigy and burned all the German books in town. Masters of ceremony were local ministers.
Wow. Minister Griff.
Minister of Disinformation,
That's right.
Minister Himmler.
Minister of Misinformation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
sweetie, let me go. I want to give you a hug off camera.
Okay, off-camera hugging. Do you want to hug the octopus because he's on
No,
extra so
it
you
makes
really want to?
it makes me nervous
Okay,
because he's.
let me dose myself. Oh, I'm feeling huggy.
If you need to dose yourself to hug me, that's.
I need a dose of you, baby.
Have a wonderful day.
You too, babe. Keep your post. I'll text you when
That's my back
I'm
and
leaving.
legs.
Okay.
Nothing.
Ah,
Nothing. Just my falling apart back and legs.
Wave, because you just got on camera briefly.
Oh no.
She's a really pretty girl.
Can you grab my bag?
Yes.
I
yes,
can't.
can.
I don't want to bend because of my back.
Hold on, it's kind of
There ain't
open.
nobody here but us chickens.
Dude,
I'll
why
take
is this so heavy?
I don't know.
Oh, hold on, I gotta zip this. One second.
Thank you.
You have
I
your phone?
Yeah, I can give you my. I want to give you my. Oh, it is heavy. Why is
Yeah.
it so
What
heavy?
do you have in there?
I don't know.
We're finding out what's in Joyce's. Do you want to play what's
I
in
don't
Joyce's
even.
bag?
Oh, I have
Jane?
a lot of papers and stuff.
That makes sense.
I like to read papers. Yeah. My book. Hold on.
Because if there's anything you want to leave with me, I can bring it later and just bring
I
it
can
home.
leave this here.
Oh, what is that? Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
There ain't nobody here but us chickens.
See, this is now a theme. Remember how our Facebook was locked before?
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
See? Huh.
You're very smart.
This is the key to good programming. I was thinking about having a bagel today. I didn't know you provide the locks.
I'd like to go to Scotland. You know why?
Why?
To see the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh! Love you, sweetie. See you in a while.
I'll give you a call later.
Yeah, and vice versa.
There ain't nobody.
So thank you to my darling, adorable wife, Joyce, for joining us for the first part of this program, including Greeley Crimes at All Times. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. The name of the show is Dave's Gone By. We have a Saturday Segue of songs in the news. We have a limerick to do. We've got Dave's Big Dictionary about sarsaparilla. We have a story time with vegetable friends. All of that to get to in this show. As a matter of fact, we can roll on, but not before I remind you, not before I tell you that we are partially sponsored by the fine, fabulous folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway. Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island, that is. And they've been there since the mid-1970s in the franchise doing fine quality work. Here's wrong side. Minuteman, see? Nickel, these are all the things that they do. So we're talking about autumn and our 667th show. Let's see, how about F for fall? First day of fall. F. What does Hewlett Minuteman Press do that starts with the letter F? Oh, stop it. Here, they do favors, comma, party. They also do fax servicing. If you still need, nobody has a fax machine anymore. You need to send a fax sometimes. You go to Hewlett Minuteman. They'll do it. They have file cards, floor mats, flyers, foil embossing, foil stamping, folders, like for presentations, fold-over business cards, foreign language invitations, forms, tons of forms, four-color business cards, brochures, digital color copies, flyers, plastic business cards, postcards, and more. As I said, that is just the letter F on the list of all the things that Hewlett Minuteman Press can do for you and has been doing for decades. The Torong family owns and operates this franchise of Minuteman. It's right in the heart of Hewlett, Long Island at it used to be 1315 Broadway, but it moved over like 2 doors down in the same little strip mall. It's 2.5 blocks from the Hewlett train station, across the street from the giant Petco, and if you tell them Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small. At Hewlett Minuteman Press, they do it all. Give them a call, 516-569-5577, area code 516-569-5577. I believe they're already closed today. I think they're just open until noon on Saturdays, but Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 for anything that you need done. Hewlett Minuteman Press, they are the copy kings. And I feel like king of Broadway when I do the next segment of Dave's Gone By, which is devoted to the theater and Broadway that I love so much. We call it Inside Broadway. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Yes, inside Broadway we go every week because I am a theater geek, a theater person, a writer, director, an actor, a theater journalist, a theater critic, and have been for many, many years. And so I take about 15 minutes, sometimes more, to talk about what's happening on stage, especially in New York, on and off Broadway. Just to let you know what's going on. For example, we have 2 new Broadway plays opening this coming week. Just getting the fall season really, really started. One of them is a new play by Teresa Rebeck. She is a very prolific writer. She's done a ton for TV, but she's also done some such shows as Spike Heels and Mauritius on Broadway and Seminar. So she's got a new one, and it sounds pretty cool. It's called Bernhardt Hamlet, and it's all about the true story of the legendary stage actress Sarah Bernhardt, who decided at, I think, 40 years old, to take on what is considered one of the great roles in the English language. She decided to play Hamlet. Now, this is way before our current thing of gender-blind casting and ethnicity casting, not to mention age. We're still not terribly age-blind in our casting, if you think about it. But she, going back 100 years, about 100 years, decided to take on Hamlet and play it. And it was kind of apparently a triumph, but people didn't necessarily think it would be when she first took it on. Anyway, Bernhardt Hamlet is the whole story of that. It's going to be opening this Tuesday, September 25th. It's a roundabout theater production, and I believe it's a world premiere. I don't think they even tried this out of town. It's at the American Airlines Theater on West 42nd Street. It's directed by Moritz von Stoopnagel, one of the greatest names in the history of history. Moritz von Stoopnagel, you might remember because he directed Hand of God a couple of years ago, that crazy farce. So, a very dark farce. And what I'm getting, at the very least, whether people love the play, like the play, or kind of in the middle about it, they're saying it's worthwhile, at least from watching the previews, and they're saying that Janet McTeer is giving quite a performance as Sarah Bernhardt, and she alone makes the play worth seeing, if for no other reason. And then there are other people who are saying, there's a bunch of other reasons. So, some pretty good reports so far, even though it hasn't officially opened yet. Bernhardt Hamlet, and also co-stars Dylan Baker, that fine veteran actor, Jason Butler Harner, who I think is more of a cabaret kind of a guy, Tony Carlin. He stepped in. This made me sad. This happened just last week, that Tony Carlin, nothing against the man, but he stepped in for the original actor, a guy named Paxton Whitehead, who is one of my theater idols for a couple of decades now. I remember seeing Run for Your Wife on Broadway. And it was a farce by Ray Cooney, who has, by the way, been a guest in the Daverhood. But Paxton Whitehead, I saw him in that. I saw him in a Sherlock Holmes play. He is just a marvelous actor, and he has he would be the ultimate Pickering, maybe like 20 years younger, in A My Fair Lady. He's got that patrician style, and yet he's as funny as all get out. Unfortunately, he's a much older man now. I think he may not be up to doing 8 shows a week on Broadway of a comedy. Maybe it's just a flu thing, but he had to step out of the show this past weekend. He's been replaced by Tony Carlin. Again, this is Bernhardt Hamlet, opening this Tuesday at the American Airlines Theater. It is a world premiere, and Janet McTeer, the lead actress, she was in the 1997 revival of A Doll's House and got amazing reviews for doing that. Now, that's one of the plays opening this week on Broadway. On Thursday, speaking of wild comedies, there is one coming from England, and it's called The Nap. It's a play by Richard Bean. He's the guy who wrote that very funny show, One Man, Two Governors, a few years back on Broadway. It's the show that made a star of the late night guy, whose name I am forgetting. But he's chubby and English, and he rocked the Tonys about 2 years ago when he was hosting. Forgive me for forgetting. But anyway, Richard Bean, the author, wrote One Man, Two Governors. Now he's got a new comedy, got great reviews in England. It's called The Nap. It's all about snooker championship. People playing pool, but there's gangsters involved. Should be a lot of fun. And this is a Manhattan Theatre Club production opening at their Samuel J. Friedman Theatre this Thursday, called The Nap. I don't think you're going to sleep through that one. And then we're going to play the Fame Game, because we have some news that people were inducted this week into the Theater Hall of Fame. Ooh, and it's kind of cool. There's a theater on Broadway called the Gershwin Theater, and they have a big wall, and they inscribe names, about 6 or 7 of them every year, into this wall. And a bunch of theater critics vote for people who can get their names onto this wall, which is the Theater Hall of Fame. And these people can be actors and directors and critics and playwrights. They must have had at least 25 years professionally in the game. So that's the one big criterion that they have to meet. But joining the Broadway Hall of Fame this year, and these are the names announced last week, there will be a ceremony held November 12th at the Gershwin Theater. Cicely Tyson, Christine Baranski, the playwright Maria Elena Fornes, David Henry Wong, the guy who wrote M. Butterfly, Joe Mantello, ubiquitous director and occasional actor, and Signature Theater's late artistic director James Houghton. Kind of wish they did that one while he was still alive, but who knew? Nobody figured he would die so young. But anyway, those are the folks whose names will be inscribed on that Gershwin wall and then celebrated on November 12th at the Gershwin Theater on Broadway. Well, speaking of Broadway, if you want to know about all things Broadway and off-Broadway and off-Broadway as well, you're going to want to get yourself a copy of, Look, there's Bernhardt Hamlet. That's the show that's opening this week. This is Performing Arts Insider. The Bible of Broadway has been since 1944. This is where people who are in the entertainment industry or the theater industry go to find out everything that is happening on all the stages of New York. You go through it. For example, second page, you got a table of contents. You've got a little map of the theater district. You've got all the shows currently playing on Broadway and then all the shows that are going to be opening this season. Just one after the other chronologically. Okay, fine. One page. Big deal. Bigger deal. We get to the next page. Broadway theaters and their tenants. Every single theater. Where it's located. How many seats it has. What show is currently playing there. And what show is set to open in the months and years ahead. And whether it's a Schubert, a Niederlander. All this inside Broadway information. Followed by a guide to the press agents. These are all the folks who handle the Broadway shows. These are the people who, if you want to contact an actor or a choreographer or a director or designer, generally it can be kind of not the best form to reach them directly. You either go through their agent or you go through the press agent who is handling the production. Here's their addresses, here's their email addresses and their phone numbers. And then we get to the real heart of the magazine, the listings of every single show on Broadway, when it's starting previews, opening, closing, or if it's already running, and then every single show off and off Broadway as well. That's a ton of shows. Nobody else does that. There's a guide to awards and current events in the theater, special events in the theater. There's also the big Broadway guide with tons of information about every single show. Look at this. This is just one listing about Anastasia. Look at all that info. These are all the producers and how to contact them. Here's the general manager. Here's the press agent again. Here's the show, the actor, the directors, the designers, the cast, notes about the show, some trivia about it. You don't get this anywhere else in this form for every single Broadway show. And oh look, Broadway shows that haven't even opened yet. These are ones that are set to open in the spring or next year. And we even have the same exact thing for every show off and off Broadway coming up. Nobody else does this. There's an index in the back. When there's room, there's even a section about rumors of shows that are upcoming. We brought back the cabaret guide, so you can see what performers are appearing in places like Feinstein's 54 Below, or Birdland, or the Duplex. No place else can you get this. It's Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway. For more information, go to performingartsinsider.com. Performingartsinsider.com. It's a rather expensive little journal, but the people who subscribe renew year after year because they know it's the only place that can get all that information in one place so purely and easily. You don't have to open 20 windows on your computer and still not find all the information here. It comes to you in the mail. It looks great. You can either get the monthly edition or get it 21 times a year. Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway. And reminding you, by the way, that the company that puts out Performing Arts Insider is called Total Theater. And they've got a website that is free that you should all surf. It's called TotalTheater.com. They have thousands of theater reviews from Broadway and off and regional and international theater and festivals. If you go to the link on the homepage that says what's new, those are links to all the shows that are still currently running. And there's a special link also to a master list of every single review on the site. And there are well over 5,000 reviews of shows on TotalTheater.com. Do check it out. Well, we're checking out more stuff about Broadway and off. Here on Dave's Gone By, on this Saturday live, September 22nd, 2018. So, yeah, mention 2 Broadway plays that are opening this week. There's also news of a play that will be opening later in the season, in the spring. They're going to be reviving Arthur Miller's All My Sons again. That is that classic Arthur Miller play, the one about it's after the war, and this family has this nice suburban life, but something that the dad kind of did or overlooked during the war, when he was helping with the war effort, may have contributed to some... Well, I don't want to give away the whole story. You know All My Sons. But anyway, they're bringing this one back. It's directed by Gregory Mosher. Haven't seen him directing much in the past couple of years. I think he's been doing some educational things. I think he runs a theater program in a major university. But anyway, The Roundabout has announced that they're reviving this play. Is going to open in April at their American Airlines Theater, and they've announced the 2 major cast members of All My Sons, and it's Annette Bening making her long-awaited return to the Broadway stage. I think it's been since, Coastal Disturbances that she's been there. And Tracy Letts, that fine playwright, he wrote August Osage County and Killer Joe, and actor too. And he's done some marvelous stage work. He was in that revival of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf a couple of years back. So Annette Bening, Tracy Letts, starring in All My Sons. That's happening in April on Broadway. And it's the 4th revival, by the way, of Arthur Miller's 1947 drama. The last one, and I remember this one, was okay, starred John Lithgow, Patrick Wilson, and Katie Holmes making her Broadway debut. That was actually 10 years ago. Time flies. But All My Sons coming back to Broadway. And kind of peckish here, because what did I have? I had a little muffin for breakfast. Was thinking about having a donut, because it's time to say, and forgive me for this, it's time to say farewell to Peter Donat. And we're talking about a death here, and I'm relating it to a pastry. But yes, Peter Donat, the celebrated veteran actor, passed away on September 10th at the age of 90, owing to complications from diabetes. He's a Broadway actor, best known for playing, however, not so much theater, but he was Mulder's dad on The X-Files. Okay? Born in Nova Scotia, his first Broadway show was 1957 in a comedy called The First Gentleman, but later that year, he starred in a revival of Wycherley's, The Country Wife, with Julie Harris, Richard Easton, Colleen Dewhurst, and Lawrence Harvey. So he was already in some good company back in 1957. His last... later on he did The Entertainer, the John Osborne play, with Laurence Olivier and Joan Plowright. Not too shabby. Donat's last Broadway show was back in 1972. They brought back Feydeau's There's One in Every Marriage. It flopped, I guess, or it was a very limited run. He also, I remember this. It's funny how you remember certain things when you're young. But he played Cyrano de Bergerac in a 1972 TV film version of it. It was a staging by San Francisco's American Conservatory Theater, featuring Marcia Mason as Roxanne. And I can't imagine that I watched it in 1972 and remembered it, because I would have been 8 years old. And yet, maybe they repeated it and I saw it when I was a young teenager, because I vaguely remember Marcia Mason and Peter Donat playing Cyrano de Bergerac on TV. He also did lots of roles, minor roles in movies, and I did not know that. the Waltons' Michael Learned. She was his ex-wife. They were married for a while. But anyway, farewell to Peter Donat, who passed away on September 10th at the age of 90. Well, I don't want to go out on such a sad note. Like last week we had to say goodbye to Mary Maisie. Let's go out on something happier, because 54 years ago today, September 22nd, 1964, one of, if not the greatest Broadway musical of all time, opened. And it opened at the Imperial Theater, and it ran so long that it moved to 2 other theaters during its run of well over a decade. I mean, this was before tons of shows end up running hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of performances. This was pretty rare, but this show is one of the rarest and greatest of them all. Maybe I'm a little biased because of my... because I happen to be Jewish, and we just got through Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Maybe I'm a little biased because Sheldon Harnick is a friend of the Daverhood. Whatever the reason is, I think it's worth celebrating that 54 years ago, Fiddler on the Roof opened at the Imperial Theater today. So let's hear one of the more than half a dozen incredibly classic, great songs from the original Fiddler on the Roof. Here's Ciro Mostel, Maria Karnalova, and the rest of the cast with Sunrise Sunset from Fiddler on the Roof.
Is this the little girl I carried? Is this the little boy at play?
Go get the cast album out if you haven't listened to it in a long time, because we all know it by heart, but it's rather extraordinary to go back and listen to the songwriting, the craft there, the beauty there, the melody. Fiddler on the Roof. Yeah, man. I mean, some people say that My Fair Lady is the more perfect musical. Some people say that Gypsy is the most perfect musical ever. Or they have a greater fondness or are more moved by South Pacific or Carousel. That's fine. But Fiddler's the best. Fiddler. Anyway, that was Inside Broadway here on Dave's Gone By on this Saturday, September 22nd, 2018. We've got more stuff coming. We've got a Saturday Segue of songs in the news. We've got story time with our vegetable friends. We've got Dave's Big Dick Shaneri talking about the word sarsparilla. But before we get to that, since we're being cultural, since we're talking about the theater, let's stay on a high level and get poetic with our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2 and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado,
Yes, indeed, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We do this every week, and we've been doing it for a couple of months now, because I live in Colorado, and it occurred to me weeks ago, hey, I thought of a dirty, sick little limerick about some town in Colorado, and then I thought of another one, and then they just started coming to me, the way things sometimes do to writer crazy type people, and before I knew it, I had literally a couple of dozen Colorado limericks, and this being a limerick, it's the kind of poem that's short, pithy, and sometimes it's got almost a punchline at the end, or it's just dirty, or filthy, or sick, which is completely my sense of humor. So ladies and gentlemen, let me see if you need to get the kiddies out of the room for this one. Yes. You probably want to send the children off to play in traffic or for ice cream for just a moment or two as we do our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And I'll let you know that today's town is Brighton, Colorado. Pretty close to Greeley, actually. Brighton, Colorado is part of Weld County, and 35,000 plus people are living there. It was named, I did not know this, for Brighton Beach, New York. Go figure. The town hosts the Adams County Fair, which has a tomato throwing contest. I thought they only did that in, like, Seville. But, yes, tomato throwing. They also are known for Bar Lake State Park. Plus, hey, they've got not one, but 2 Vestas turbine plants. And they're also connected to a sister city in Poland called Zywice, I don't know where that is, but it is in Poland. So Brighton, Poland, sister cities. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. Anyway, what I am going to do is read our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for the week about Brighton, Colorado. And it could not be more timely considering what's been happening with the Pope and all that stuff that's been going on. So hold your children's ears if you didn't take my advice before to get the kiddies out of the room. A pedophile vicar from Brighton found altar boys very exciting. It felt so intense when they'd swing their incense, the rim of his asshole would tighten. Thank you very much. That is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for this week. Thank you. I think we need some sound effect for that. Yes, indeed. Brighton, Colorado. If you want to read all my Colorado Limericks, they're at the website davelefkowitz.org, I believe. davelefkowitz.org has all my writings. It's got a few hundred of my theater reviews. It's got some of my one-act plays and a couple of my longer plays. Stan tuned in. Hello, Stan. And Stan heard that poem. He went, no! And then he's laughing. So, yes! Welcome, Stan. And welcome to Rick and Laura and Jolinda. And so many people who've been commenting and saying hi and tuning in and giving me thumbs up. Hopefully not a thumb like that Bicker's doing. But anyway, yes, indeed. Do, by the way, drop me a line. You can post here on Facebook and give me a message or email me, davesgoneby@aol.com, because, of course, davesgoneby.com is my website. It's the place to find out about the show, to see pictures, to also hear all the archives, which are free. You go to the archive section, and from our most recent show, like last week, to the very first show we did in 2002. We're coming up, honest to God, on our 16th year here in October. Almost every show we've ever done is there. You can listen to them, you can download them, stream them, put them on your iPads because they're MP3s. Go have fun. They're all at davesgoneby.com. Stan says, I just sprayed coffee and locks on my screen. See, I told you this was the day of locks. There we go. See? These kind of locks? This would probably dent your screen, Stan. But anyway, glad you enjoyed the poem or were nauseated by it. An artist just wants a reaction, good or bad. But I hope you're reacting well to this episode of Dave's Gone By. It's our 667th. We're calling it Fall In because it is autumn time. Now you can bring the kids back in the room. Now, if you sent them away to play or to hurt themselves while we were doing our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, now they can re-enter because it's story time. Oh yes, it's time to tell a story in the Daverhood. And I know how you love that.
Tell me a story, tell me a story, tell me a story, remember what you said. You promised me, you said you would, you gotta give in so I'll be good. Tell me a story, then I'll go to bed.
Lum-de-doo-de, lum-de-da, lum-de... I shouldn't say lum-de-doo-de, considering my diarrhea predicament. But yes, we're telling stories here on Dave's Gone By. And, oh my God, this is so precipitous. A person, and I normally don't mention last names here when people log in because of their privacy, but someone whose name is Story just tuned in to the show. So welcome, Mr. Story, to the Daverhood and live here on Dave's Gone By, where we're going to part 3 of this fabulous book. Now, if you notice the characters in Vegetable Friends. We've got a couple of Moy mushrooms here. Here he's riding the cart. Here's his beleaguered brother, probably the younger brother, pulling the cart. And now, look, there's Potato, and there's Potato. Look familiar, folks? I'll get them even closer. And behold. So the book is obviously connected to these potatoes that I've had in my office all this time. It was essentially a gambit, an educational gambit, to get students or kids to eat vegetables and to appreciate vegetables. So they came up with all these cute veggie characters like mushrooms and tomatoes and cauliflower and broccoli, and they even put a book together with it so that, you read the kid the book and they associate it with a toy with which they're playing. So in our first week going into Storytime, which is, by the way, the book is by Tony Lawler and Bruce Kosciemba with illustrations by Barry Duncan. We've got, let's see, what do we have? And by the way, this book belongs to me. Just saying. Why they're putting all these vegetables in a treasure chest, there's just so much wrong with this book. I can't even begin to tell you. Something really sick about it. Here's Spud's Potato, basically sitting on a pile of his dead brethren. So we talked about him 2 weeks ago. We've also got, sorry, just have to lick my fingers to get through this. And here's Corny on the Cob, the incredibly masochistic Corny, because he's literally telling people, hey, eat me. Take a piece of me, take a kernel off my face, put it in the ground or put me in your mouth and eat me. This is this book. Okay. And then after Corny, we've got Moy Mushroom, sitting in his own offal here of fresh mushrooms. Stan says, mushroom slaves, free the mushrooms. I know, it's rather frightening. And I think we did one other vegetable last week. What did we do? We would have done, who comes after Moy is, ripe tomato. Potatoes love this one because they love ketchup so much. So we talked about tomato and growing more tomatoes and the fact that they're going to the market that looks exactly like Sprouts, for those of you who shop there. And then the bold shop owner who was like, yeah, bring me more stuff. And there's these children with no eye pupils bagging tomatoes and going to do horrible things to them. Perhaps take part in the Brighton tomato fight. We're up to a new veggie, ladies and gentlemen, on today's Dave's Gone By from the Vegetable Friends. Our story continues with Charles Broccoli. And you can always already tell the absence of imagination here, in the sense that, okay, I get Moy, mushroom, Spud's potato, with Charles. What does Charles have to do with anything? Who names Broccoli Charles? I do not understand this. Anyway, here he is. He's by that little red barn. Let's read the story together, shall we? We shall. My name is... He's in quotes. What the hell? They put all the names in quotes. My name is Charles Broccoli. My food is on my head. You can also eat my bright green stalks, or so the farmer says. Doesn't it rhyme? It's a children's book that's supposed to be a rhyming book, and it's head rhyming with says. You could have put it in the past tense. You could have said, my name is Charles Broccoli, my food is on my head, you can eat my bright green stalks, or so that farmer said. What? Did it take one more minute of thought to make this a proper book? Anyway, Charles Broccoli is telling people to eat him, to bite his stalks, and to eat his hair, as I eat the top of his head off. There are many kinds of vegetables. The kids should always eat. Some of them have funny shapes, but broccoli is hard to beat. And now they're making fun of the looks of these vegetables. Look what we have here. We've got cauliflower, cabbage, all funny looking, ooh, real funny, broccoli, making them feel bad when they're in the grocery aisle amongst all the other vegetables. Oh, they're not sleek looking like peas. No, they're brainy and veiny looking like cabbage. Shame. Oh. It's the feel-bad book of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Now, broccoli likes cool weather. We do not like the heat. If we grow when it is cooler, there's lots more of us to eat. It doesn't even scan right. What the hell are they doing in this book? And notice, though, they like the cool weather. They like that the sun is going behind the cloud to hide its head and cry. But broccoli, always fine. They're always smiling. Always saying, hey, chew us, eat us, spit us out, deprecate us. We don't care. We're here to please mankind, to serve man. Is there more about broccoli? Look at this. Look at this picture. You got broccoli here. And basically he's standing there cooking all these different types of broccoli. He's committing mass murder. He's throwing with potatoes there. He's got it soaking, he's got it simmering over a hot fire. What? Sick. That's all I can say. You can steam or you can cream us. Sounds more like we're talking about the vicar now. You can steam or you can cream us or eat us other ways. Some favorites are in salads and with dips like mayonnaise. I mean, just imagine like Elie Wiesel or Primo Levi writing about like the Jews in Auschwitz. And he's like, yeah, you can put them in this kind of oven, or you can put them in the shower with a bad gas. And he's like, yeah, do it. This is what broccoli is doing. Incroyable. There are lots of ways to eat us. Yeah, you made that clear, man. From a bowl or from a plate, no matter how you eat us, broccoli always tastes so great. Well, now, I mean, that is one good thing to tell children. It's like, children are not generally going to like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. They do smell like farts, even before you eat them. They just do. Anywho, I can't get away from broccoli fast enough. Let's move to, here's another vegetable that children just love to eat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's crunchy celery. Yeah, crunchy celery. He's got his little shovel there. What's he up to? Let's find out. My friends all call me Crunchy. You'll love the sound you hear when you take a little bite of me. There's no doubt you will cheer. Yeah, I mean, I know. I don't have kids of my own. But I've been in kindergarten. I've been in first, second, third grade. I've been around children. I've been to playgrounds in a long, dirty raincoat. Never have I seen kids opening up their lunchbox or trading with each other at the counter or in the school cafeteria and going, "Oh, celery! Yay!" Nobody does that. I don't care if they have a little salt to put on it. I don't know if care if they have dip. Children don't dip. They don't do crudité. No child. No adult. No, nobody. Cheers for the taste of celery. It's all right. I don't even cheer drinking Dr. Brown's celery, and that's the best way you can possibly have it. I'm sorry for getting so upset, but this book. Let's hear more about celery. They planted seeds into a box. That's how they started me. When I grew big with leaves and stalks, I became a celery. Now that's cute. I like that. Okay. And now, for some reason, celery's 8 glasses a day water diet. I'll have to show that up there. Don't know what that represents at all. The farmer knows that celery will soon grow big and tall. He feeds us lots of water so they can pick us in the fall. Well, there you go. The farmer does this, and he's drinking all that water, right? It's a fine diuretic for celery. I don't know what this is. He's got, he's got a bag of dog food, or maybe, perhaps that's manure. It doesn't say it, but it does continue the theme of this episode of my having diarrhea this week. Here's a little big bag of manure right by celery as he's drinking the water. So he's going to get the Hershey squirts real quick, my friends. Almost done with the book, I promise. When you take a stalk of celery that is long and kind of round, then take a bite and chew it. It will make a crunchy sound. So, look what's happening here. Okay, you've got the little boy crunching on a big bite of celery. His sister, she's terribly upset. Oh, the noise. Oh, her migraines. Terrible. Meanwhile, look who's enjoying this. You've got a piece of celery who is delighting in the fact of being chewed to bits by this child with amazing teeth, considering his age. What kind of masochism, my friends? You can take a stalk of celery and fill it up with cheese or even peanut butter or most anything you please. Okay, I guess if you do give kids some peanut butter, do kids like cream cheese? They might like peanut butter, so maybe that is a way to make celery tolerable, or not. You can chop it up in pieces, then cook it in a stew with carrots and potatoes, and throw the leaves in too. See, look at that. There's happy celery again. He's pointing, he's happy. Here's his cousin chopped into horrible little bits. There's more choppings. Just take my family, kill it. Go ahead. Or chop it in a salad, because in salads it is great. celery is a healthy food that should be on your plate. And now, somehow, despite the Holocaust, the destruction of all these vegetables for our greedy human consumption, somehow all our vegetable friends regroup at the end of the book, and they're perfectly fine. It's like a cartoon. There's death, there's destruction, there's Acme safes falling on the characters, and yet they return again and again. Look who's here. Look, they're all here. They're all back. Now that you have visited us, we hope you'll collect us all. So there's a pitch. Kids, remember to buy us, because there's money involved here. Don't forget to eat us up, so you'll grow big and tall. So there's Corny, there's Moy, there's Charles Broccoli, there's celery, there's crunchy celery, ripe tomato, and of course the beautiful Spuds potato. They are. It's kind of like the Beatles' White Album, where they have individual photographs. Here's Moy and Charles towards the end. Collect all your favorite vegetables, ladies and gentlemen. Here they are, one after the other. There's the list. Watch out for other Toy Box Creations books and characters. Yeah. And I will say this, I do collect these guys. So if you happen to see them, if you happen to own one or see one in a fair or a garage sale, a yard sale, do contact Old Dave, because I just might be interested if the price is right. And I'm talking somewhere in the $2,000 to $5,000 range. Just saying. Anyway, that was Vegetable Friends by Tony Lawler and Bruce Kosiemba, illustrated by Barry Duncan. Yeah, these endearing vegetables will become your children's friends while encouraging them to always eat their vegetables. Okay, there you have it. Not exactly like A Cow for Hansel, was it? It was more disturbing than I ever could have imagined it would be to read that book. So, just wanted to show you what might be upcoming Storytime books. We have a couple of options here. One of them I mentioned before. Here's an idea. I should have done this one with my diarrhea today. The Chocolate Touch, about a little child who touches everything. It's kind of like a King Midas story where everything he touches turns to chocolate. That's a possibility. Also found these in the Potato Day sale. We've got Feeding the Otters. This might be the next one. Feeding the Otters. Might want to go through that one. Or we could do a story time about the Rooster Crows, because Mrs. Bakbagak would love that one. We could do just a full show chicken alert for the Rooster Crows. Kind of neat. And then there's this one, also rather appropriate for the times. Bill Cosby's The Meanest Things to Say. Bill Cosby, The Meanest Things to Say, like, "Oh, Mr. Cosby, stop touching my vagina." Yeah, okay, so these are among the books that might wind up on Storytime later, not on this broadcast, but in upcoming episodes. Feel free to chime in, feel free to email me, davesgoneby@aol.com, and suggest your ideas for upcoming Storytime stories. Well, it is a bit after 11 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time here in Greeley, Colorado, where we're doing the 667th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio program of the stream. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. We're calling this episode Fall In because it is the first day of autumn, and we do have a bit more to do in the show. We've got Dave's Big Dictionary coming up very shortly, where I'll be talking about sarsaparilla. And also, we've got a Saturday segue of songs in the news. So, before all that, though, I do want to remind you that even though the last couple of episodes we haven't had we've had a wonderful guest. My darling wife joins us for the first part of the program. But sometimes we have special guests or famous people, and I've just been so busy and dealing with so many other things that I haven't had time to deal with booking guests or getting guests the last couple of weeks and dealing with all of that. We will have guests again on Dave's Gone By, that is for sure. But we've had many, many guests in the past, and that's kind of cool because we keep tabs on them. It's like if somebody was on our show a few years ago because they were doing a Broadway show, or they were writing a book, or putting out some kind of album, and now years have passed and they're doing something else. They're up to other things. We consider them friends, we consider them family, and that's why we do the Friends of the Daverhood segment and let you know where they're at. So yes, for this week, the Friends of the Daverhood. Who's been not naughty? Who's been nice in terms of their career over the past couple of weeks or months, or what's been going on with people who've been visiting the Daverhood? For example, I want to give a shout out to the writer John Ruane. He's got a new book out. It's called The Real News, the never-before-told stories of Donald Trump and fake news. It's been published by Post Hill Press, and it is a satire of the Donald Trump. Pretty much every book about the Trump administration is a satire, intentionally or not. But his is intentional satire. It's called The Real News, and he's quick to point out that he's not like left-wing Democrat. He's neither right-wing Republican nor left-wing donkey. He's an independent voter, but even he knows that what's been going on politically is just crazy. So get yourself a copy of the new book by John Ruane, R-U-A-N-E. John Ruane. It's called The Real News, published by Post Hill Press. I want to give a shout out to our friend of the Daverhood, Susan Haskins, who after 25 years is ending the TV program Theater Talk. It seems she and CUNY TV, City University of New York, just couldn't come to an understanding going forward. I think they wanted more corporate sponsorship or to put the show in a new direction. Basically, the show was them, her, and a co-host interviewing theater people. And they've had so many theater legends on that show, including people like Elaine Stritch, and I mean, she's the first one that comes to mind because they let her say the F word, and PBS didn't bleep it. But yeah, they've been doing it for a long, long time. It was essentially a public access program that got picked up by this university, and it's shown in the Northeast. You can get it on the interwebs, and they've been doing it for 25 years. Back in the day, I was on it a couple of times because Michael Riedel, who's another friend of the Daverhood, he was her co-host for the first 20 years. Then he's just, he writes for the New York Post, and now he's got a radio show on WOR, so he had bigger fish to fry, and he was also writing that Razzle Dazzle book a couple of years back. So she's replaced him with some other co-host people, but still been doing it. But now it's time for the show to end. They've had a parting of the ways, so I don't know what they'll do with the extraordinary archives that they will have of that program. But Theater Talk is going to stop on WNET and public television. So my big shout-out is to Susan Haskins, because she and Michael have both been on the Dave's Gone By show. I'm sure she'll find out other options and other things to do with that idea. I want to let you know that tonight, Ann Hampton Calloway is singing Linda Ronstadt songs at Feinstein's 54 Below in Manhattan. Or if you go to Loveland, Colorado tonight, I forgot about this, I wanted to go, but tonight, Loudon Wainwright III is going to be at the Rialto in Loveland. Or if you are in town on Long Island, in Rockville Center, at the Madison Theater, Stevie GB will be performing. He tuned in earlier. So hey to Stevie GB, you can see him tonight, his stand-up comedy in Rockville Center. Letting you know also that today and tomorrow, the Analogy Trilogy, a dance piece, is being performed at New York Live Arts. That's on West 19th Street in Manhattan. And that, of course, is by the legendary company Bill T. Jones and Arnie Zane. Tony winner Bill T. Jones was on one of our Tony Awards specials here in the Daverhood. Tomorrow, at Denver's Paramount Theater, you can go see Judy Collins, our friend, and she, of course, has been doing this tour with Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. He wrote that song, Sweet for Judy Blue Eyes, for her. So, yeah, they've been appearing and performing together. I think they have an album out together. So go see them in Denver tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, Tonya Pinkins and Daphne Rubin Vega, both of them friends of the Daverhood, they are joining songwriter Max Vernon at his residency at Joe's Pub on Lafayette Street in Manhattan. Also on Tuesday night, Rita Gardner sings Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt songs at the Laurie Beachman Theater, and that is directed also by our friend Jeff Harner. Robert Calvin, the director, he is staging a play called My Parsifal Conductor at the Marjorie Dean Theater on West 63rd Street in New York. That's happening from now through November 3rd. Actually, it opens it starts performances, later this week. So see my Parsifal Conductor off Broadway. Oh, and speaking of off Broadway, you've got just a couple more chances to see Tevye Served Raw, featuring our friend Alan Lewis Rickman, that has been extended at the Playroom in Midtown Manhattan. They're doing a show on the 26th and one more on October 3rd of Tevye Served Raw. This Thursday, Gary Lucas is doing From Beefheart to Buckley and Beyond, playing music because he was part of Captain Beefheart's later band, one of the late Magic bands. Gary Lucas, he's at the Cutting Room on East 32nd Street on Thursday. And then on Friday, a movie release featuring Hal Linden, from Barney Miller. Hal Linden is in a movie called The Samuel Project, going to be released in 25 markets on Friday. And then, just letting you know, a week from today, next Saturday, Jackie the Joke Man Martling appearing at the Studio Theater in Lindenhurst, New York. Letting you know that Tamara Tooney is part of the rotating cast of a play called Antigone in Ferguson. That's a play with music that is being read at Harlem Stage. That's happening through mid-October. Also now through mid-October, a staging of an adaptation of Uncle Vanya being done at the Hunter Theater Project. J.O. Sanders appears in it, and it's adapted and directed by Richard Nelson. And the New York Times gave this thing a big rave this week, so tickets are going to be pretty scarce. That's Uncle Vanya at the Hunter Theater Project, now through mid-October. Now through also mid-October, out in Chicago, you can see our friend Julie Halston in Tootsie. Now, this show is Broadway bound, and it's starting on... it's already playing, and it's running through mid-October in Chicago, and it's co-written by Robert Horn and our friend David Yazbek, who, of course, everybody knows now from the big hit, The Band's Visit. Let's see, happening also in Chicago at the Goodman Theater, David Cale has a new solo show with music. It's called We're Only Alive for a Short Amount of Time. And hey, Robert Falls, the artistic director of the Goodman Theater, is directing that. That is happening now through October 21st. Oh, and we finally get to an Austin Pendleton alert. Yes, Austin Pendleton, busy as ever. Austin Pendleton is directing a lesser-known Tennessee Williams play called The Lovely Sunday for Crève Coeur at the theater at St. Clement's, with featuring Christine Nielsen, who's a very, very funny actress, and Annette O'Toole. You remember her too. So that's happening from now through late October off Broadway. Now, towards the end of October, the York Theater is doing Desperate Measures, very popular, very fun musical, with music by our friend David Friedman. Congratulations to him. Oh my God, the National Yiddish Theater, we were talking about Fiddler on the Roof before, it's the 54th anniversary of the show. They're doing it in Yiddish. It's directed by Joel Gray. Would love to have him on the show. But we have had Zalman Mlatek, the show's musical director, not to mention, as we mentioned, that Sheldon Harnick was, of course, the lyricist on Fiddler. That is happening. It got extended again by the National Yiddish Theater. It's now playing through mid-November. Playing now through mid-January on Broadway, School of Rock, co-written by Glenn Slater. We mentioned The Band's Visit. I didn't mention Come From Away, that fabulous musical that's playing at the Gerald Schoenfeld Theater, co-written by Irene Sankoff and David Hine. LaChanze is playing one of the Donnas in the Donna Summer musical on Broadway at the L'Enfantin. Daniel Breaker is in Hamilton. Jim Caruso's cast party happens every Monday night at Birdland. Evan Seplow, he does the website stagebuddy.com. Dr. Demento's still doing new Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Leslie Hoban Blake and Charlie Gross are doing their long-running theater review show, Two on the Aisle. That's on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and also on the same station in New York, and also at mnn.org live streaming. You can see Eva Heinemann's show, High Drama. Find out more about that at her Facebook page. Shout out to BobCudmore.com, where he does podcasts about upstate New York history. And finally, you can read Phil Mushnick writing about sports in the New York Post. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Oh, God. Back just a few weeks ago, in the middle of August, there were some fewer things to read for friends in the Daverhood, because it was August, people were away, people weren't doing things. Now so much happens on and off Broadway and cabaret, it's just like one after the other. But I love doing it, because it's this thing of saying, hey, all these amazing people appeared on this program, Dave's Gone By. And I certainly thank all of you for tuning into this program every week. We're here Saturdays from 9 until noon, or thereabouts, courtesy of University of Northern Colorado, where this office is, courtesy of my friends Potatoes, thanks to my darling and adorable wife Joyce, and of course to all the folks who write in, who leave comments, who email me, or who just watch or tell other people to watch, or give me a thumbs up or a heart little icon for the stuff I'm doing here. It makes it all worthwhile. So thank you to all of you for joining me in the Daverhood. And remember, if you miss all or part of a show, or you want to send people to watch and listen to the program, just send them to the archives at davesgoneby.com. This episode should be up there by the middle of the day tomorrow, if not earlier. So, if there was a segment that you missed and you want to catch it, you can anytime at all. Love to have you. Love to have friends and fans of the Daverhood. Well, we'll have a Saturday segue of songs in the news to close out the show. But before then, as promised, one of the segments that we do is called Dave's Big Dictionary. And it has to do with my wife, earlier in the program, picking up a dictionary, thumbing through it completely at random, and then finding a word. And then, off the top of my head, and it's tough because I don't get to play music anymore. I don't have time to really step back and think and have a little time to prepare, which makes it much tougher. But now I've got to come up with about 5 minutes or so of something to say about that word. We do it, I try it. It's called Dave's Big Dictionary. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. Okay, so what am I going to talk about? What word did my wife Joyce choose about 2 hours ago when she thumbed through this dictionary? And she came up with a cool one. She came up with a good one. And I'm going to go with, and remind you, that the word was sarsaparilla. Now, I've got to... Actually, first thing I'm going to talk about is, off the top of my head, is it sass or is there an R in there? I believe it might be sarsparilla, but nobody mentions the R. And, of course, I don't have a pair of glasses. So to read this, I got to go all the way over here under strong light, so forgive me for this, but sarsparilla, which is pronounced sarsaparilla, the dried roots of a tropical American smilas, whatever smilas is, it's some kind of, I'm going to have to look up smilas, won't I? Especially for flavoring. Of course, we know this, or the plant itself. It's also a sweetened carbonated beverage flavored with sassafras and an oil from a birch. So that is sassafras. And let's just look up smilas while I'm at it. That won't be a bad thing to sort of see. Smilas is... sounds like a Greek chef, doesn't it? Smilas is any of various mostly climbing and prickly plants. Oh, related to the what? Oh, lilies. I thought it said titties. That's what's on my brain. An ornamental plant related to the asparagus. Who knew? Who knew that maybe the sarsaparilla plant could be a vegetable friend? So it seems closer to a vegetable than a fruit. But anyway, it's flavored with like sassafras oil and sarsaparilla and oil from a birch tree. Sassafras. So, I am going to take a flying leap of faith here. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to check and look it up, or else I'm really, really stuck on this one. But I'm thinking that root beer is essentially sassafras. I'm hoping it is, and then I have something to talk about. Root beer, a sweetened carbonated beverage flavored with extracts of roots and herbs. We'll go with that. So, let's make believe that, because sarsaparilla is root beer. It just is. It's the joke. that you get in Westerns when the hero who isn't a hard-drinking Clint Eastwood, John Wayne type, where everybody else is drinking whiskey neat or on the rocks, or people are having beers and liquor thrown around the room, the wimpy, wussy protagonist hero of the comic Western comes in and says, I'll just have a sarsaparilla, which is essentially just birch root bark, some kind of sweet, soft drink in the years before, I guess, there was Coca-Cola. So what I do drink, I do like root beer. I like the mintiness of it. There's something about root beer that reminds me of a dentist's office, and I don't mind. Not that I have a fabulous time in a dentist's office, but there's a freshness, there's a tarty, minty feel to root beer. Even though it's quite sweet and syrupy, there's a certain really refreshing flavor, like I'm having my teeth cleaned in a good way, that I get from drinking root beer, that I get from drinking sarsaparilla. And it bugs me when I go into these specialty soda shops like they have in Denver, and one of my students told me they have one now in either Loveland or Fort Collins, where you can go in and they have all these old-timey sort of beverages, except they weren't actually bottled 70 years ago. It's brand new, but they make them like they're old. And they call them funny names, and or old-timey names, and they have, sarsaparilla, and old-time Rudy Toot stuff, which is actually cream soda, and they do that kind of thing. So, when I go in there, tell me what it is. If you say sarsaparilla, and it's really root beer, I want it. I will try it. I will probably be more inclined to buy it if it's labeled sarsaparilla, because it's much less commonly called that. Or maybe they use a different kind of birch tree, or a different sort of root to get the sarsaparilla from for root beer. I don't know. Or a different sassafras kind of plant. Don't know that. But just be honest in your advertising. Or what the hell is root? Maybe root beer is the beverage that has the less steady definition. Maybe sarsaparilla is, yes, you take 6 parts sarsaparilla root, you take some cane sugar, you take some carbonated water, and then a little bit of corn syrup and vegetable extract, and perhaps some ground squid, and there it is. Boom, this is always going to be sarsaparilla. As opposed to root beer, which could be anything from, a Coca-Cola or Pepsi product to something more homemade, or somebody grinding up birch and sassafras roots in their backyard. So, truth in advertising, folks. Truth in broadcasting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about root beer. Root beer floats are okay. I kind of like those. I'm surprised I don't like them more. I'm surprised I don't do them more. I enjoy ice cream sodas. I don't know who doesn't. And yet, I will generally, 80% of the time, choose either I'm going to have ice cream or I'm going to have a sundae, right? Rather than mixing the two. I have ice cream in the fridge, and yet the idea of taking a plop of it and putting it in some Coca-Cola or putting it in some root beer for a legitimate root beer float, even though it's delicious, I may do that later today. Since I was talking about having lost so much weight the last couple of weeks, and getting something into my stomach to settle my tummy problems here. But I don't do that. I don't know why. Because it's such a cool thing. Because you're mixing the beverage with the dessert. And maybe that's why. Maybe I prefer to have them separate. Maybe I'm thinking by mixing those together, I'm denying myself one of the pleasures. Like, if I have a cold, refreshing soft drink beverage, that's a machaya on a hot day. It makes me feel good, and it's quenching the thirst that I have. Even though bottled seltzers and soda waters are sugary and salty enough that they're really just make you want to drink more of it rather than less. But for the moment, if you're perspiring, if you just want a nice cold sweet soda, you drink it, it satisfies that craving, that longing. If you want something more of a dessert, something sweet and creamy, and who doesn't love ice cream, it's like, I'm going to have an ice cream. Nummy nums, nice, tasty. Going to have ice cream and maybe a sip of my delicious soda. And you have these two separate and unique pleasures. And you have them, one in now, and one later on in an hour or so. So eat this, drink this. Two great, unique pleasures. Ice cream soda or a root beer float. It's gilding the lily. It's putting two things together. Because then you're just crunching them and you're losing one of them. You finish an ice cream soda, you finish the ice cream, and you finish the soda. You're done. You've missed out. You've had them both together. It's sad, in a way. You know, it's kind of, I'm trying to think if we ever do that with something else. It's kind of like if you have breakfast and you have maybe a potato. Sorry, don't listen potato. But if you put bacon crumbles in your mashed or your baked potato, right, with butter and whatever else. So you put little bacon crumblies on there, and delicious, it's fine. But you're having maybe pancakes, you're having eggs, and you're not going to have strips of bacon with it. Why? Because there's little crumbly bacon in the potato already. This is delicious, but you also feel when you're eating it, it's like, you know, I'm having this potato that's flavored with bacon, but I could have had potato and then saved the bacon, the strips of bacon. Yeah? You get what I'm saying? It's like mixing them together, you're somehow losing something. I don't know why. I don't know how. It's like colorizing old films. It's probably something you shouldn't do, even though they're appealing at the moment. Anyway, those are my thoughts on soft drinks and sarsaparilla and root beer here in the Daverhood for Dave's Big Dictionary. Should I play the outro again? Yeah, I'll play the outro again. I just need to breathe. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that does it for Dave's Big Dictionary on this episode, our 667th of Dave's Gone By. We're not done yet. It's about 11:30 in the morning Mountain Time here in Greeley, Colorado, at the University of Northern Colorado, where every Saturday from 9 to noon or thereabouts, I, Dave Lefkowitz, do a new episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio program of the stream. We're calling this one Fall In for the autumn weather. And oh, by the way, welcome to John, Stan, Fred, Catherine, my neighbor, and Jay. Yay, Jay. Jay, you tuned in after we mentioned that you're doing this Uncle Vanya that got this wonderful review in the New York Times. So congratulations, and what else? Well, other than that, got one more thing to do. It's our Saturday segue of songs in the news. And this always used to be sort of a reprieve for me. This segment, after I talked myself out for 2.5 hours, I get to play music. You get to enjoy some music. And then I got 3-4 minutes at a time to just sort of hang back, rest up, stop talking. Except now, of course, with the way Facebook is and the way YouTube is, I kind of can play only a small portion of the song. So it's still a lot more of me talking. Enjoy. But it's Dave's Gone By. And our songs in the news on a Saturday segue. Do I actually have an intro for the Saturday segue? Did I ever do that? Yes, I did! Extra, hear all about it. We provide the rhymes, you provide the reasons. It's our Saturday segue of songs in the news. Okay, so your job, should you choose to accept it, is to listen to the part of the song that I am playing here on Dave's Gone By, and then you have to figure out, hey, why is Dave playing that? What does the title of the song, or the singer, the author, the theme of the tune have to do with something that's going on importantly in news and current events? We start in a very francophilic way.
On se fait des en
Ford Mustang
et
bang
on embrasse les platanes
Must
à gauche,
Tang
à droite et à gauche à droite.
Some old Serge Gainsbourg there from the album Comic Strip. And I'm not sure if that's Brigitte Bardot who's doing the extra vocals there on the song. Probably was. Or maybe it was his no, that wouldn't have been his kid at that stage. But anyway, yes, a song by Serge Gainsbourg called Ford Mustang. Now, part of that title is relevant. Part of it is not relevant at all. What I was going for was the Ford. Why would Ford be in the news this Saturday, September 22nd, 2018? Of course, we're trying to find out whether Christine Blasey Ford will be testifying this coming week or a week from now in terms of Supreme Court Judge wannabe Brett Kavanaugh. You heard about this about a week or so ago, where he was all set. The Republicans had their ducks in a row. They were all lined up. And if even one Democrat kind of turned and said, yeah, even though he's a right-wing Republican, even though he's a conservative who will stock the deck of the Supreme Court with Republicans for decades to come, can't really stop it because the Republicans control the House and the Senate. So Kavanaugh was I wouldn't say shoo-in. There were certain issues of his candidacy that were being talked about, but nothing that should really derail him until out of literally the woodwork comes Christine Blasey Ford. And she says, probably weeks ago, she wrote a letter to the Democratic Party, the machine, and said, oh, by the way, this guy who's up for the Supreme Court, highest judge in the land, back when we were in high school, when I was, I don't know, I guess she was 16 or 17, he was that age, he was a partier, he was a drinker, he was kind of a womanizer, so he and a friend took me to a room at a party and almost raped me, groped me, touched me, did things against my will. I never reported it, because a lot of times women just didn't and even don't to this day, because they're not sure what the boundaries are. You know, as long as it's not full and complete rape, maybe it's just guys being guys. And acceptable. And only in the hashtag #MeToo movement have women come out and said, oh, no, that's probably not acceptable. She had done something way back when, and didn't, and she let him become a law, a jurist, let him become a well-known judge, at least in his circles. She may have lost track of the guy, until suddenly he's like, oh, Donald Trump said, this is my man. He's got a great record, he's a conservative, he's very personable, would make a fine person on the Supreme Court. Until she comes out and says, yeah, I know this was something like 25, 30 years ago, but it has stayed with me. It was wrong. It was inappropriate. He never apologized. I never went after him for it, but a person like this does not necessarily belong on the highest court of the land. So first she was anonymous, sends this letter, and then the reporters track her down, and they're going all after the party and saying, this letter, it's anonymous. You can't bring down a judge with an anonymous accusation, with nothing else behind it except what's in this letter. We need to find out who this is, and we need to find out if other people were involved, if he did it other times, if there's other women who have complaints against him. It doesn't seem that there are. But finally, she was essentially pressured to release her name. Her name is Christine Blasey Ford. She has a lawyer now. She had to move temporarily. She's been getting death threats since kind of coming out against this judge. And it is still a he said, she said, all the way around. I was talking about this a little in class with my students. It is still a situation of he's innocent. Almost a Freudian slip there. He is innocent until proven guilty. And this is not even a court of law. This is just a man's reputation and his future career and respect as a jurist is at stake. And so to say what she says, if it happened, get out there and say it and bring him down. But he has the right to face his accuser, and we have the right to see what she's saying, because it's pretty clear from everything that she's apparently written and has out there that some kind of incident happened. Whether it was him, we got to figure that out. She's fuzzy on some details, so they want to bring her up against these senators who are going to be these middle-aged, balding old white men. Still, 20-something years after Anita Hill, like 27 years after this lone black woman stared down these mocking, or at least patronizing, male senators, we're in the same exact place where they're asking her to serve on this, he'll be there, Brett Kavanaugh will be there to give his side of the story, which apparently is no story. He didn't do it. He wasn't there. Maybe he wasn't even at the party. And her saying, oh yeah, he was. And there's certain things that a victim, a traumatized PTSD victim, will remember, even if they forget other aspects of it, or the mind plays tricks on certain other memories. The main thing will be remembered. And if this guy is holding her down, and she knew his name, she'd probably remember that. Okay? But it's for him to defend himself, and for her to prove him guilty. Okay? Not in a court of law, but in the eyes of these senators, in the eyes of the American public. Much the way we kind of wish Anita Hill did with old pubic hair Clarence Thomas. So, will it happen? She's saying she's willing to testify. She wants to. She's not ready yet, because 30 years she's sitting on this. It explodes inside her. She wants to tell the world, but she wants to tell it in her way, in her time, under lawyers' counsel. Because if she finds out she got it wrong, or she's lying, he'll be on the Supreme Court. He can take her to court and sue her for defamation of character, or what's that other one, or slander, in a sense. So she does have to be pretty damn careful. They're giving her more time because the GOP has to be real careful of the optics on this. They know, they would love to push her. They would love to take shovels and bury her in the ground, but they know that they cannot. They know that they've got to bend over backwards to look fair, right, and make believe that they actually do care that this woman was groped 30-something years ago, and to be up there and give her every opportunity to be ready to tell her story, while at the same time going to the Democrats and saying, oh, isn't it funny? Like the week before, we had our guy all ready to go into the Supreme Court. Suddenly, the story was out, even though you've had the paperwork for weeks. Suddenly, her name comes out, and she's ready to appear, because otherwise, this would just go right through. So, it's like everything now. It's politically ugly, politically disgusting, and certainly kind of sad. But that's why we played the song Ford Mustang by Serge Gainsbourg in honor of Christine Blasey Ford's, defending her honor, Brett Kavanaugh defending what might be left of his honor, or maybe all of it, because he might not be guilty. We will see. I don't know. It will be a very interesting week in terms of the Supreme Court, in terms of just politics again, as unfortunately usual. By the way, welcome to Fred and Catherine and Jay and Jeffrey and Wayne, suddenly tuning in to like the latter part of Dave's Gone By. You picked a good time to tune in because we're in the middle of our Saturday Segue, where you have to figure out, why am I playing certain things? Now this one's a little tough. There's no dialogue in this, there's no lyrics to this one. But listen to the sound of the music that I am about to play from a movie that is 43 years old. Composed by Maurice Jarre, not sure how to pronounce his name, but Maurice Jarre, or Jarre, that is part of the memorable music from the film Dr. Zhivago, the David Lean film Dr. Zhivago, which I can't really, I've never actually seen it. I gotta watch Dr. Zhivago at some point. Like I've got a 42-inch TV screen. I never saw the desert one until just a couple of years ago, and finally pretty glad I got a chance to see that. I gotta see Dr. Zhivago. How have I missed it? Anyway, so why did I play that piece of music from Dr. Zhivago? Because the music is called Military Parade. Military Parade. This is news that literally just came over the wire last night and this morning. It's not happy news. Well, depends about your leanings, shall we say, whether this is happy or not. Earlier today, Saturday morning, in southwestern Iran, an ethnic Arab opposition movement called the well, I've just been talking too much. Gotta rewire my jaw. An ethnic Arab opposition movement called the Ahvaz National Resistance claimed responsibility, as did the Islamic State, for opening fire on a military parade. 25 people were killed, half of them from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. 60 people were wounded. All 4 attackers were killed. And, okay, so the Iranian government is blaming who? The United States. Of course they're blaming, you were going to say Israel, weren't you? But no, they were blaming the United States. The foreign minister of Iran, Javad Zarif, tweeted that, quote, Iran holds regional terror sponsors and their U.S. masters accountable. Yeah, because this is really on us. This is really on me sitting here doing my little radio show, and somehow my government, and I'm responsible for a terror group in a place like Iran, which knows nothing about murder, kidnapping, terrorism, or anything like that. Somehow we're responsible for somebody, or for a fringe group that shoots up a military parade. And I guess I'd be echoing Rabbi Saul Solomon here if I say, when it's not nice, it's misanthropic, it's hateful, but when these kinds of killings go on in places like Syria, or Iraq, or Iran, or Afghanistan, or Syria, or Libya, I'm like, great, kill each other, don't care. Don't care what, kill more. Instead of 25 people, I wish it were 250, 2,500, because if this is the reaction to it, and these are our enemies, still, they're not killing us, fine. We don't have to go kill them. If they're killing each other, God bless them. So I'm not thrilled that there's still an Islamic State movement that could be responsible for what happened this morning. So, you know what? Let the remnants of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard kill them. Back and forth, bodies everywhere. I'm all for it. Anyway, that's why we played Military Parade from Dr. Zhivago, the 1965 films. Yeah, you know I have that level of darkness in me. It's the autumn encroaching, and probably all the constipation and diarrhea in my system as well that I spoke about earlier. But anyway, that's why we played Military Parade from Dr. Zhivago. And by the way, welcome to Jeffrey and Wayne and Steve and Annette. All these people who are tuning in kind of late in the program. We do have a bit more for you, a bit more of our Saturday segue of songs in the news. This one is also, the song isn't sad, but this news is legitimately sad.
You see, 100 years ago, there was a queen on the throne of England. Her name was Victoria. Now, I want everybody to clap your hands. Let's see you clap your hands. Let's go.
A bit of solo live Ray Davis there. Of the Kinks, of course, much later era than when that song was actually written and performed with the Kinks. And by the way, one degree of separation from the Daverhood, since Dave Davis, the guitar player and co-songwriter for some of their songs, has been in the Daverhood. But no, that was Brother Ray with his song Victoria from his solo live album called The Storyteller. Can't believe that album is already 20 years old. But, this is just purely sad news. In the East African country of Tanzania, they found one survivor, but there are more than 200 dead when a ferry capsized on Lake Victoria. This happened this past Thursday. It was the MV Nyerere ferry that shuttles people between these two very populated areas in Tanzania. Here's the part that's making people mad. The vessel's capacity was 100 people. There were more than 400 people on it, plus cargo. And whoopsie, somehow it capsized on Thursday. So, of course, just a sad, tragic story. I'm not weeping over it, but it does kind of give you the feels, and that's why we're playing Victoria from Ray Davis from his album Storyteller. We have one more song to play for you, or part of it. And this is, again, we're doing a Saturday segue of songs in the news. This is not new news. This is old news that we remember.
I was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay, now that is from, I mean, you recognize that voice, of course. That is the voice of Paul Simon from the album that he did before he created the Broadway musical, The Cape Man. He put out an album called Songs from the Cape Man with him performing the numbers as opposed to eventually, because the show was a flop, I don't think he ever came out with a legitimate cast album for the production. But the songs live on because he put out a very good album called Songs from the Cape Man, and that opens the record. It's called We're Born in Puerto Rico. Eventually keep singing I Was Born in Puerto Rico. Well, why would we play that? Because, as the flooding in the Carolinas is finally about to subside and causing all sorts of problems and issues, but, at least we kind of seem on top of it. I mean, it was enormous in terms of the amount of water. So we're still, even as late as yesterday, a week after the thing was making landfall, this tropical storm, they were still saying that the worst of the flooding has not happened yet, that they're still going to swell certain parts, and it's like unthinkable. The good news in this particular case is that we're all contiguous, that the North Carolina and Virginia and South Carolina and Georgia, if you want to get to them, you can bring tanks and you can bring big trucks and RVs and SUVs over and get equipment and get supplies and get water and food over that way and bring people in to I guess, siphon stuff away and start the electricity working again. And get shops open again, and clearing away some of the damage, as opposed to Puerto Rico, where it's you're dealing with an island. Everything has to come by water. It's exponentially more difficult, which is a partial and only a partial excuse for what happened exactly 1 year ago when you had the hurricane coming through Puerto Rico, a Category 4 hurricane landing there, causing apparently 3,000 deaths, hurricane-related deaths, and $90 billion in damages to Puerto Rico. A year later, it's like, how there are parts of, parts of Long Island that are still not completely rebuilt after the hurricane a few years back. Puerto Rico, a year later, is like they finally got pretty much all the power back. Can you imagine it taking months to get electricity back to a place in modern 2018, the U.S., even though it's not a state, that's also a problem, that Trump and company just didn't consider, it's not really connected, and it's not the 51st state, we just kind of control it, sort of, and the people there are not quite white, they're Hispanic-y, so you add all that together, and it not being as easy as, hey, I want to help. I'm going to drive my big truck along with some lumber and bottles of water to you can't do that to Puerto Rico. You can't just drive there. So, a year later, everybody's taking stock, and everybody was watching Donald Trump very carefully over the past week and a half to see how he would deal with, how he would explain or monitor or organize the cleanup efforts and the help and rescue efforts in the Carolinas versus the way that he mishandled, in a lot of ways, Puerto Rico 1 year back, right? And so it seems like he's been doing the right things. It seems like he's been sending the right people, and they're doing everything they can. And the only angry part is that he said the same thing about the way Puerto Rico was handled. And for sure, the image of him tossing those paper towels to folks and saying, we're here for you, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and yet the response related to the magnitude of the destruction of Puerto Rico is, that was the big imbalance, with Trump refusing to acknowledge that. With Trump thinking, hey, we called FEMA, we called, I assume, the National Guard or some Army people to help. We sent them down there, and just because the folks running Puerto Rico and that woman who's the mayor or something like, she can't get her shit together, it's not our fault. It doesn't land on my plate. We've got the things waiting in the docks. You've got to figure out how to distribute it. It didn't play well. certainly shouldn't play well with the Hispanic voters over the next month and a half and in 2020. We'll see. But anyway, we played Born in Puerto Rico by Paul Simon about the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria, Category 4 storm, most powerful storm to hit Puerto Rico since 1932. Thousands of homes still need repair. Businesses spent months trying to reopen. According to People magazine, more than 1 million people requested help from FEMA. 58% were denied, even though FEMA did do the longest sustained airborne food and water mission in American history to Puerto Rico. It's just the level, the magnitude of the storm and the destruction. So basically now what they're saying in Puerto Rico, whether it's true or not, is that the first thing they shored up was all the hotels and the higher level areas to say, hey, come here, Puerto Rico, tourism, visit, spend your money. We need your tourist dollars desperately. And I would say, look, if the water's receded and the power's on and you get to a hotel that's near the ocean, it's going to be gorgeous. You know, whatever destruction might be in outlying areas, kind of like there was in Louisiana all those years back, it's like whatever certain parts will be horrible and terrible. If you just want to be an ugly American and go to Puerto Rico for sun and fun and tanning and what have you, go do it, because if you stay in a place near the ocean isn't in a storm anymore. It's going to look really, really gorgeous. There's sand, there's beach, there's coral, there's rocks, there's fish, there's water, and there's electricity, and lights, and probably some cable TV, and a Mai Tai. Spend your money over there and help a year later in Puerto Rico. And we'll be saying the same thing about the Carolinas in 3 months, when it's freezing in New York and in Maine and New Hampshire and in Colorado and in North and South Dakota, and say, hey, go on down to Charlotte, North Carolina. Go on down to, or is it South Carolina? You know, go down that coast. Ain't nothing happening there now except rebuilding, and they could use your tourist and tax dollars. So anyway, that is why we played Paul Simon from his Cape Man album, Born in Puerto Rico, on that anniversary. Well, it is, as I mentioned before, we're only about 3 weeks from the anniversary of this radio, now Facebookio, podcastio program of the stream, Dave's Gone By. We started back in October of 2002, and here we are, first day of autumn in 2018. Still doing this program, less hair than ever, more gray than ever, still me. Lost a few pounds, so a little lighter than not ever, but lighter than recent years. What else can I tell you? Well, I can thank you so much for tuning in to the program. Folks like Jay and Jeffrey and Wayne and Steve and Annette and Robert from my old high school. Welcome to all of you. If you missed, and those of you who tuned in the last half hour, missed most of the show, that's okay. Go to the website, davesgoneby.com. We'll have the archive up probably by tomorrow late morning. So you can see either this video or you can just listen to the audio of it. It will be in a bit higher quality sound, and we'll play more of the music that we have to truncate when we do the show live on Facebook. But yeah, either way, listen to this show, the parts that you missed, share it with other people, download it for your MP3 player or your iTunes, or just stream it right on your computer. You missed the show last week or a couple of weeks ago, or last month, or last year, or 10 years ago. Hundreds, literally hundreds, of archived Dave's Gone By episodes there for your entertainment, for your dilection. Is that the word I want? Dilection. Listen, since I have a dictionary in front of me, I always throw that word out at you, and I want to just make sure that that is the word that I want. Give me a mo. I have an extra minute or two. Because if you have a predilection for something, you really want it. Diligent, dilettante, dilemma. Ooh. That may not be a word. Certainly not a word in this dictionary. If you have an Oxford or a much better, larger dictionary, look that one up at home. Why don't you? That'll be your homework for next week. Next Saturday, when we do intend to return with a brand new episode of Dave's Gone By. Not sure if we'll have a guest or who that guest will be. We might. We'll certainly have Greeley Crimes at all times. We'll have a new Dave's Big Dictionary segment. We're going to come up with a new book to read. It could be the Bill Cosby book. Yeah, especially considering the Kavanaugh thing. This might be the right one, but you never know. I could be more otter-centric. So maybe I want to do this book, but I ought to do this one. Storytime. We'll do it. We'll also have another Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We might have potato news. We'll go inside Broadway for news of the Rialto and stuff like that. So it just remains for me to thank you all once again for tuning in. Tell your friends to like us, follow us on Facebook. Remember, not just like us, but see first when in your Facebook settings, and you have where your friends are, whether you're following them or not. Don't just follow us. Put us as see first. So whenever I post something on Facebook or we go live, you're reminded, hey, your friend Dave is live here in Greeley, Colorado, doing the Dave's Gone By Facebook program of the stream. Well, it is autumn. It has begun. You can feel it in the mornings, and you'll feel it in the evenings. Not yet in the middle. It's going to be 88 degrees here today. You're not feeling it right now. You will. Soon enough. Thanksgiving. Snow. Snaying. The holidays. Death. But anyway, we get 3 hours of life here every Saturday on Dave's Gone By. Have a wonderful autumn. I hope to see you right here next week on Facebook. Let's go out with a little-known group called Church of Betty that's singing in some language, I'm not sure, it might be French, a song from their album West of the East, and it is called Autumn. Autumn indeed, and gone by.